We're going live. We're live.
Do not adjust your sets. You are in the correct place.
Surprise, suckers, we're early. That's it, that's the show. Thanks for coming, everyone. See you next week.
You have been entertained.
Yep. We're kind of sitting around here waiting for the time to come up. So I'm just like, let's just go live and just like do a pre-show and like surprise everyone by us being on time. What? Shush. Anyway, yes, we are indeed early. How are you all? Yeah, coffee this morning. I did have a coffee this morning. I'm drinking cold coffee at the moment. Arctic brand? Arctic Brews? It's the cheap one in Tesco. It's actually quite nice. I like it. It's probably got a ridiculous amount of sugar in it.
Probably.
Yeah. It's nice, though, because it's giving me sufficient caffeine without having to drink hot drinks because, man, you don't want hot drinks in this weather. These machines are crap. Well, these ones certainly are because they don't work. But when they do work, I don't know. You seem to get on with them quite well when they do work.
They are entirely sufficient at making a coffee.
Yeah. I mean, they're espresso machines, aren't they? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that one's got a steamer on it and everything.
They both got steamer. Yeah. They're basically the same model.
Yeah. Just in different... Oh, yeah, I see that now. Just in slightly different colours. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This one is like 3 years newer.
Yeah, this one looked like it had plastic sides, but I can see it's actually painted metal now. So, yeah, just less chrome.
Absolutely.
Hot day, cold coffee, indeed. Entirely sufficient. There's a quote for the back of the box. Yeah. What's with this home improvements? Welcome, everyone, to the best home appliance repair channel on YouTube. Isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Yep. We're asserting this now. This is now fact. So, yes.
Very well.
We've got no idea what we're going to do with it. Yeah, we're kind of pre-showing at the moment because, yeah, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes before we start doing anything just so people can rock up because we're early. But, yeah, we were kind of just sitting around going, about that time, eh, chaps? Righto. You know? So...
It's not the end of the world.
It feels like it out there, I can tell you that much.
There's Australia, the kangaroos. Fucking kangaroos.
How old is that video? I was watching that in...
At least
2014.
At least 14 years old.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I'm pretty certain I was watching that in like 2002, 2003,
definitely,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to look that up again sometime. It still carries. It's good. Anyway, it's probably older than Spud Nugget. Hi, Spud.
But that doesn't really narrow it down.
I think my mate Vince got you beat there. You're probably right, actually. And what do you mean it doesn't narrow it down?
It being older than Spud.
Yes, true. Many things are. Yeah, yes, I see your point there. If it's 2002, then yes. Oh my God. He's legally allowed to vote. Let that sink in.
Why? What's it want?
Anyway, right. Okay, let's have a look. They aren't pretentious enough for this crowd. Right. Okay. I need to look. I've put a monitor with a bigger chat on it now. Is this useful? You are far away from chat.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's.
I was going to say
entirely sufficient.
Yeah. Anyway, short vid today. Well, maybe it might be. We've got these two. How do you pronounce it? DeLonghi?
Coffee machines.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Fine.
I have genuinely never tried to pronounce the name.
Okay.
Because the first time I looked at it, I went, ah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
coffee machine.
Yeah, it's a very well-known brand. So yeah.
But it was very much the case. I just went.
Yep.
Coffee machine.
Duma says my pronunciation is correct.
DeLonghi.
Yeah, DeLonghi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Good.
I expected it to be a de.
DeLonghi.
Just because of the on the e. So I expected it to be an So it was DeLonghi.
This is now the best phonetics channel on YouTube as well, everyone. So yeah.
So it's spelled D diphthong, upside down E, backwards F, upside down L that looks like a bar.
Oh no.
Triforce.
Right. Set up TV under camera with a hat and pond. Yeah, that's actually something we've...
So set up a what?
A TV, as in for chat and stuff like that.
Oh, right, sorry.
That's actually an idea we've kicked around a couple of times, but I don't want to buy a TV purely for that. I mean, I do want to buy a TV for here and anyway, but would we wheel it all the way over here for a show? I mean, I guess we could.
Well, that's what I was saying about when you get blinds over there, we'll just do it from the sofa.
Yeah, but then if we're tinkering with something, that doesn't work, does it? And that's kind of what we do these days, for better or for worse.
Only because you feel like you have to.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
if we planned stuff, we wouldn't need to. We could even have like chapter markers and stuff.
Yeah, everyone's just stopped hoping for those now, which is good. But the problem is we're not quite big enough that we get a hero who just does it for us these days. But yeah, why are you gasping at my vernier calipers?
Because I've made them measure negative distance.
Well, they need zeroing then, don't they?
But yes, but it was the fact that all I did was pick them up, and now they're measuring negative distance. It's like, okay.
Okay. Anyway, right.
Quality machine tools.
It is 15:47, and we've wasted an amount of your time already. Let's start having a look. So we've got two coffee machines here. This one just doesn't turn on, just stone dead, nada, nothing. And this one, what does this one do again?
It now doesn't turn on.
Oh,
It's
okay.
stone dead. However, the issue was you plugged it in and the lights just went.
How did they go again? Okay. Very well.
So you know when like the power's a bit dicky and the lights just kind of go and they're browning out.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It did that.
Interesting. So that sounds like a bad connection in there.
I was like,
it?
so is something arcing? Am I going to find a capacitor has made its friend all across the side of it?
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, Yate Computing says a heat issue has knocked it out of alignment. It's expanded slightly in the heat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
2 entire millimeters?
Well, moving on. So anyway.
However, yes, I agree that you need to be in a temperature controlled rather than controlled environment for accurate measuring.
Replace the coffee machine with a cider keg tap. I mean, possibly, but I mean, you don't really want to be drinking cider first thing in the morning. So yeah. Right. Okay. Let's see. So so we're gonna open these things up, and neither of us have any idea what we're doing. We're just gonna open them up and hope that we can see a visual problem, basically, and see what happens. So yeah.
Whilst talking about stuff and things.
Chris wants to know how you spell. Is it EU recurring, or is it YU recurring?
I was thinking more EH, as in like.
Can you give me a D minor now?
Okay.
I was making a joke that we were slowly hitting different pitches with that. His character trying to start an empty car.
When you really, really, really need a coffee, it's just.
Right, okay. Let's take this thing apart. Can we overclock it so it makes a cup in 3 seconds? Probably. It won't be a very good cup of coffee, though. Haste is not your friend with coffee machines.
No.
Right. Okay.
Although, see, you are aware of our man Justin for the coffee and the coffee machines, yes?
No.
No? Okay. Never mind then.
Okay.
There is a coffee company just over yonder.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to say the name or not, just because of other things that you got in your box for advertising.
Oh, no, I have no obligations.
Cool. Fine. There's a guy called Justin who runs a company called 918 Coffee.
Oh, yep, I remember that.
Just over yonder.
Yeah.
He used to be in Gillingham.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I go for coffee stuff.
Yes.
And Yeah, it was a case where I was like, oh, it's an excuse for me to go to him and go, sell me a nice coffee machine.
I see. We'll see. Yeah. Very well. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to pour some more of this cold brew coffee out because I'm crashing. I always start crashing at the start of a stream. I get tense on Saturday.
Danger.
Okay, anyway, I get... Are you okay?
I think so.
Anyway, I get tense before a stream because it's like there's a deadline of when it starts, and I'm just like, I need to be ready for this time. And then as soon as the stream actually starts, I go and relax, and now I energy crash. Cara dead. Caradog's had his cider accident. Okay, right. I can't be bothered to keep wrapping that thing up. If it goes, all right.
I just find it funny that you say that you get tense and that there's a deadline and we must be live by this time. And I think we've managed it twice.
I don't know. I have no deadlines in my life. I don't know. I don't know why the podcast stresses me out as much as it does. Like, it's not a problem.
You have such high expectations of the quality of the output.
I guess, but yeah, like, genuine thing. The podcast stresses me out, and I don't know why. Like, it's not that I don't enjoy it or anything like that. Just for some reason or other, it just, like, I have this concern about maintaining, of putting on like, trying to do a good production and being on time and stuff like that. And just, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. So many fluids near computers. That's fine. They're in the right place. Ching.
No, right. We're not stooping to that level.
Okay, so...
As you can see, it didn't do anything.
Oh, did you plug it in? Yeah, okay. So, there's a clunker switch on the side, and it does not, indeed, not doing anything. All right. It's dead, Jim. Very well.
Yes, it is dead.
Yes. Understandable. Have a day.
Have a coffeeless day.
Yes, which would be a bad day, I guess, wouldn't it? I'm going to adjust the bench cam over to here so it covers my face.
I think that everyone in the office is being somewhat weaned off of a caffeine addiction.
Oh, really? Well, because the coffee machines are broken.
Yeah, we probably go through, I don't know how big these tanks are, but we probably fill them 2-3 times a day.
Damn. Let's see. So, testing bench cam. That's a good test.
Have you turned on the bench cam on?
That's Camlink. That's why there was no picture. There we go. All right.
Hello.
Right, so we'll bring this into like here. So when we need a close-up, that's there.
Oh. I understand.
Oh, this could also just not tighten at all.
Have you broken your camera?
It's fine. We're at a slight Dutch angle, but I don't care. Fine. Right. Okay. So let's go back to. We'll go back. Yeah, we'll go back to that for now because there's nothing to see other than the fact that we're taking screws out of it for now. I just want to make sure that it's ready, so when we want to show someone something.
Do you know what we should do?
Turn it off.
Turn it on at the wall.
You tool. I got stuck between calling you a tool and a tart then, so I just said you tool. All right, let's just try that again for posterity. Oh, I don't believe it.
Ooh.
What is it about the podcast and stuff just working when we put it on the podcast?
Ooh.
Is that okay? The lights on it are flashing. It's come back to life.
I'll be back in a minute with some water.
Okay. Thanks for coming, everyone. We'll be back next week with something else. This keeps happening. I just people need to we've got to just start getting in stuff to repair. And just like, I won't bother trying to record a video. We'll just do it on the podcast because then it will just immediately come back to life.
See, the best part is I even tested that it was still dead at like 5 o'clock last night.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask, yeah, because I think it was, I think Arnold said maybe a thermal fuse or something like that. So it was possible that it might come good if left for a while.
But yeah, It died on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I left it unplugged all of Tuesday, tried it again Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Dead.
Okay, yeah, that's plenty of time for a
Yeah.
thermal fuse.
And
to
then
recover,
tried
isn't
again
it?
Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Dead.
Okay.
Yeah, it works.
I was about to say, let me get a cup so we can try it out. However, all right. So, what are we going to do? Are we just going to stick that one to one side and look at the other one?
Yep.
Then? Okay, let's
There
start
you
off
go.
with that then.
That one's fine.
Yeah.
It's happy.
I was going to say it needs a good clean, but that's an aside, I guess.
That's an entirely separate comment.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
All right. Thanks for coming, everyone. There must be a loose connection, maybe. If we yeah. I mean, if we've got time, we'll come back and have a second look at that one and just open it up and do a visual inspection on the inside, because that's never a waste of time, in my opinion. All right, so power on at the side. I don't want to say that this one is working as well, but this one is working as well. What did I tell you? Best home appliance repair channel on YouTube.
Absolutely. So good you don't even need to do anything.
Well, we're taking one of these apart. I don't care.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to do it on this one.
Yeah, okay, let's turn it off. All right, so... Spudnugget says, do you want to send a deliberately sabotaged GPU to fix? I don't know. Well, I do want to get more time on GPUs, in all seriousness. That might be interesting. That might be really interesting, actually, to have a GPU that's sabotaged with a typical fault. And then
by someone else, so you don't know.
Yeah,
unlike a motherboard.
So I don't know, but like Spud does, and then Spud can say, right, here's the process that you can go through to start looking, try taking measurements, and so on, and we can see what we discover along the way. That, I think, might be a good idea. So yeah, because one of the difficulties of learning electronics repair is you have to just keep banging your head against the wall until you get a good example. Because when you start learning to fix stuff, the first amount of things you try and fix will just be dead ends. It'll just be dead and you won't know why. So having something that actually is fixable is a tremendous help in the learning process. So yeah, power issue at Caradog's work. I mean, yeah, did you try it on other sockets and stuff?
Yeah, I because we've got a kettle on it.
Okay, yeah.
I just went with the kettle and then went, it still boils.
Yeah, very well. So yeah, we know it wasn't a bad socket or something like that.
That one was far too big.
Yeah. I'll let you carry on with this while I manage the chat. I'm just gonna, move that a little further away. Good job, Electro Jesus. Thanks.
That big.
Really takes back their statement about my mate Vince having us beat for appliance repair. Take that, Vince. Got him. Title change. We're fixing something computer today. Well, we're going to take this apart and just do a visual inspection on the inside and we'll see what we find. So, yeah. Common way of fixing these is to reset them. Instructions in the manual. Well, they don't power on.
Yeah, they were just
it was stone
dead.
Yeah, like
as
stone
in,
dead.
Yeah, lights off, nobody at home.
Intermittent coil, abuse it next time in front of the co-workers. Yeah.
Why am I abusing things in front of co-workers?
What screwdriver bit are you on at the moment?
I am using a TX20.
Oh, are they Torx?
No, they're Torx with a dot in it.
Oh, they're security Torx. Oh, interesting. We were literally having a conversation about that.
Which is why I'm starting here, because it's security Torx. And I'm like, maybe this is the spicy part.
I see, yes.
Also, do we have a longer one of these? Because this screw is recessed. I've got on it.
I was going to say, failing that, there's an extension bit here that might give you a bit more clearance from the chock. The chock, the thing, the whatchamacallit.
There you
go. This will go so much quicker with coffee. Yes.
Oh no. Do you know, I'm going to be exceedingly pleased if I have coffee back, though.
Yeah. Are you missing it then?
I did consider going to Costa to get coffee.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't go cold turkey on coffee, not by a long shot.
I mean, I did, but...
Yeah, you're a braver man than I. The last time I went cold turkey on coffee, I was 24 hours out I was curled up on the sofa feeling like I was actually ill, like with a cold or flu or something like that. It was bad. I mean, granted, at that point in my life, I was drinking like 5 coffees a day. And if I wasn't drinking coffee, I was drinking Pepsi Max.
Yeah, I drink...
So like everything I was drinking was caffeinated.
4, 5?
Yeah, but you're having like water and stuff between
I
those?
drink 4 or 5 large doubles.
Yeah. Even still, but yeah, as I say, I was if I didn't have coffee in my hand, I had Pepsi Max in my hand, so there was nothing else other than that. So yeah, when I went cold turkey, it was proper cold turkey, and it was bad, man. What is that? Just a pinch mark, maybe? Let me have a.
It's got stuff in it.
Yeah, let me have
stuff
let me
in a
get my
pinch
head in.
mark. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah, it hasn't gone through the It hasn't gone through the sheath. So, yeah, I'll swing the bench camera around just so people can see what we're seeing so far. There's not a lot to see yet, but just so you guys can see the steps on the way in. So yeah, coffee and Pepsi Max. Yeah, exactly that. And I think that's why it hit me so bad. But as a result of that, you know, like when every now and then I go through a phase where I'm just like, I want to cut back on caffeine. I don't go cold turkey. I just cut back a bit. You know, I go down from like 3 to 4 coffees a day down to just like 2 coffees a day or something like that. So then I might be a little bit more lethargic, but it's not going to hit me like a wrecking machine, you know. Le bench cam. There we go. So where are we? So here's the top we've just gone in. The bit we were looking at just then is just there. There's a slight pinch mark on the live wire coming in.
It was just the fact that, yeah, as well, just that there was stuff in the pinch.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
However, it hasn't gone through the plastic on the wire, so I don't think that's our issue. So we've got the flex coming in. It goes into the clunking switch. Where does it come out? Oh yeah, then there's a black wire coming out from there that goes into the unit itself.
Yeah.
And then we've got ground coming out, going to just grounded places. And then we've got our neutral and our earth also going into the main guts of the machine. So
I'm assuming this might lift off.
I'm going to adjust the camera so it's not a weird angle. Don't worry, we are going to invert. Transform 180. There we go. Technology Connections posted a video yesterday about the American style coffee machine. Yeah, the drip coffee machine. I need to finish watching the end of that.
Can't believe that people willingly drink that kind of coffee.
Big same. I tried one, and I tried one like literally once, not even all day. I just had one coffee and was like, nope. Well, no, the first coffee was just like, yeah, that's past. It's fine. It's coffee flavored water.
The first coffee is fine.
Yeah, but it was the issue of the only way that drip machines are vaguely economical to run is if you make, you know, the jug of coffee and you drink that throughout the day. And obviously it just goes stale. And so, yeah, the second and third cups are awful. So the only way they make sense is if you're making it for a whole office or a family or something like that.
Yeah.
But for one person, doesn't work at all. Absolutely doesn't work. Oh yeah, thanks for the reminder. I'm on top chat. I'm going to switch to live chat.
Ah, I thought these were magnets. They are not magnets.
They are not. However, let me get you one.
Where do you steal your magnets from?
What, like to get them full stop?
Yeah.
I've had these ones for ages. You used to be able to get them out of laptop screens. And these days you still can, especially old laptops, you'll find big magnets in. So if you just get some old e-waste Vista laptop, tear the screen display assembly apart, and you will find you'll probably find some magnets in there. Some laptops will use the magnets just to help hold the screen closed so it doesn't flap or chatter. Oh. That's quite common. There'll be at least one magnet in there just purely for the lid closed sensor, for the Hall effect sensor. Yeah, that's some grot there, isn't it?
I'm just wondering how
Are you trying to figure out how to get further in? Yeah. We've got 2 screws there that would get this back part off. I think that's going to give you more progress next.
Yeah.
Let me know if there's anything that I can do to help, I guess. Yeah, you've got to make a full jug, and then you've got to have people actually use up that jug before it goes stale, yeah. The reason drip machines became popular is the thing they replaced was way more awful, yeah. And also, like, the problem is that there's not much of a stopgap because, like, what are your alternatives for
espresso?
Well, yeah, but espresso machines are hassle. I mean, not a huge amount, I guess, but I think more so because pod machines are a recent invention. Espresso machines, they're a bit more hassle to operate, although not really, I guess. Especially not small compact ones like these. I'm still a big believer in just the cafetiere. I love cafetiere coffee. But then on the other hand, I like the ritual of the cafetiere. So, Will it still work when he puts it back together? Take your bets now. Yeah. Oh, also, I need to do earlier on. Someone was just like, hang on a sec. It was, SDC said, God, Graham has superpowers. He started a mainboard and it works. And now he started 2 coffee machines and they work. To which Spud Nugget dubbed me the Midas of repair. So I kind of like that. The Midas of repair.
Everything you touch turns to gold?
Yeah. A gold working standard or something. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Shush.
Oh.
Is the spring just...
That's never going back in.
Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, I saw that coming out and was like, But then I'm not sure, what's that? Why is there a spring latch there? Is that just a clip thing, just to make it click in nicely?
I guess.
Must be. Unless there's... Yeah, there's no system. That must just be to make it go in... Oh, it's the locking system, because that locks somehow, doesn't it? No, it doesn't? Or...
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, don't know. Oh well.
No idea.
What's up, awesome 3D prints? How's it going?
Yeah, I don't know. Because you can lift this up to about there.
Yeah.
These buttons are there.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming there's something stopping it with these.
Maybe. Do you want me to... I'm going to have a quick pry and just see. No, something is holding that down, yeah. That is held down.
However, there's a gap at the front there.
Yeah, it's like there and there or something.
Yeah.
Can I open that up just enough to get a peek under there? I don't think I can. So, yeah, I'm
wondering, I'm going to take this out. I don't know what this is going to do for us, but it was it's the only other screw I can see that's external.
Yeah.
And it's a non-magnetic screw.
Stainless.
Damn it.
Because that gets wet, it has to be stainless.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I take it the back panel didn't come off then.
No. I think
coming out. Got some cover strips here. Aha, there we go. Now we're getting access to these panels here.
Yeah.
Let's get that other one. This is my patented jiggle technique where you just go Arr! And it just jolts something loose. I think I need to come in from this side.
I was going to say, assuming it's the same as the other side.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Let me stand in front of it because I'm working cock-handed at the moment. No! The screwdriver is dead. Am I completely off shot? Only slightly. Ah, there we go. Found the angle. Ooh. This thing's really awkward to hold up.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's some metal tabs holding these cover plates on. I'm wondering whether to try and
oh my, who was serviced from the bottom.
So I'm wondering whether to bend those metal tabs upwards, so because then theoretically I think these metal plates will start coming off. So I'm going to have a go at that.
With?
Can you hold on to this a sec?
Yes. Oh yeah, you can see that this is grounded.
Yeah.
There's a tab in there.
Which makes sense. Electrical products with water in it, they've got to actually go belt and braces with the grounding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those tabs are very strong. There we go. That one's going to come off, and I'll get the other side as well. Am I still vaguely on shot? Yep, I am.
Loosely. Almost.
This is a scrapper screwdriver, by the way. It's surprisingly warm, and I'm not sure if that's where you've just been gripping it with a death grip or not.
No, it's where there's a boiler in it.
Oh yeah, it was on for a few moments, I suppose, wasn't it? Yeah. Because I was like, sort of, this isn't plugged in, is it? You know. Anyway, what was I? Yeah, this is a scrapper screwdriver, by the way. Have some scrap screwdrivers that you don't mind doing dumb stuff with. So then you can...
That is very not straight.
Exactly. So you wreck your scrap screwdrivers, not your nice ones. Okay.
So that comes up there. There's a bit there.
There's another ground tab down there that needs to... Can we pull that off from underneath, actually? I think we can. I need a pair of pliers. Could you pass me those pliers? There. So, I think if I just go... Ugh. There we go.
My question is, how do you put that back on?
That's future Graham's problem. I believe. Okay, right. Whoops. Is there anything obstructing this now? I think the top one needs to come off first, if I'm honest.
So it goes behind this.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going then. I'm going to...
These are not designed to be fixed without coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there's not much to see.
You are loosely in frame.
Yeah, I'm just bending metal tabs still here.
Chris says he's more subtle with a crowbar. Difficult glass side panel, or is one easy solution? Spud says, customer being annoying. One simple solution.
If only.
Does it run Java?
Lamau.
No, it's something else. I can't remember.
No, but Oracle still wants a license. Zing. Oh, we're not going to be able to get this guy up unless we figure out how this
knob comes off.
Knob comes off, yeah. I'm going to give that a judicious pry because, yep, that does just slide off. Ooh. Not in the way I expected, but yeah, no, that'll go back on. That's fine.
Oh, yes, it slides off. Does it slide back on? No.
The whole plastic interior came out, and I was like, I didn't expect that much to come out. However, yeah, that'll go back on. That's fine. Cool. Okay, right. Anything? Yep. No, I'm going to keep going.
I'm going to keep attacking this with a screwdriver.
Yeah, we're going no guts, no glory here. Oh, that one's bent in super far. Get out, you bastard. There we go.
If this goes on flush again, it will be very impressive.
Oh, ye of little faith. I mean, it's fairly thick sheet stainless, so we can just bend everything back into shape. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, that guy needs to come out a little bit as well. Oh, God. Oh, that's tabbed in at the top. This top bit has to come off.
Yeah. Does it
There's no way around it at this point.
Forward? No.
Does not seem to slide. Right, let me let's pry that up as much as I can and have a look in there and see what's actually holding me up. Right, what was that? It was a slider.
Yeah.
There we go.
But how are you supposed to slide it backwards when this is in the way?
Good question, well presented, but we've made it a bit further.
However, interesting.
All right, so have we got any plugs? No, obviously everything is kind of sealed there.
I'm pleased to see the level of grounding, though.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to, wouldn't you? At the end.
Oh yeah, but
although that much
I'm
being
pleased
said,
to see that it is actually that level of grounded.
You never know. Sometimes, do you?
Huh. Fair enough.
Right. So, where to now? Okay. I mean, I guess we could. Right. So this is just a fascia. Removing this bit doesn't actually get us in anywhere, because there's this plastic inside bit anyway. This is not the cover, it's just a fascia.
Yeah.
So that doesn't progress us into disassembling it much further. Although, again, I think the next stage would be if we take out these screws to remove the nozzle per se, then we can get this front bit off, and I think that gets us where we want to be.
Yeah. See, to a degree, though, I would have expected this to. Does hold on? I presume it doesn't, but yeah, you can't just like slide the entire thing up and through. Was what I was thinking. Yeah, but no, it's just interesting to see because this is the here. That's the steam control.
Yeah.
And that's how it knows when the
water is vaporized, yeah.
Yeah, when it's too hot to make actual coffee with, as opposed to steam. And then what you can do is you can purge from the steam side of it through here.
Oh, right, yeah.
And through the other side, and it will just pump cold water through it. Which is why it's got two sets of feeds.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so I'd imagine that somehow, through that arrangement, ends up coming out here. Oh, yeah, that goes on to there, into there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, no. So that's just a bigger tube because it's steam.
Yeah, just for better flow.
Yeah. Oh, I see. And the water has to flow past this point, has to flow through here to get to there from the look of it. I guess. Interesting.
Very well. That must be the main heater.
Yeah.
And then we've got the pump there, which is going to be a needle pump, I think they're called, where it's just literally just a little needle that just it oscillates just fast enough that it has to push forward just because of the oscillation.
Yeah, because it certainly does go.
It go brr.
Well, it's the fact that it's not a continuous pumping noise. It is,
reciprocating.
Yeah.
Yes. Very well. Get a better top view. Okay. Yes, we'll adjust the angle. Okay. Right. So where we're up to then. Nah. Sorry, I'm working upside down here. There. All right. So yeah, what we've just been discussing, the heater there. There's the steam valve, the steam purge valve. So it's measuring the temperature there. This thing's still carrying a lot of heat, even though it wasn't on for very long. Yeah.
Does it go on that way? No,
think
it can't
so.
be that far down.
I think it would have been 90 degrees clocked.
There's the flat bit. Oh no, the flat bit's there.
Hmm.
Which goes on about
That may as well
there.
go back on because it didn't need to come off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's a cold water feed coming in through to there. Yeah, that must be the hot water feed.
It would be a heated feed, wouldn't it? Because there's no other supply to this, and this is where the hot water comes out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that would have to be hot.
Very well.
So
okay.
does it? So it looks like it pumps it cold into there and just uses the pressure of pumping more water in.
Yeah,
to push the
that
water
would make
out.
sense because it means the pump doesn't need to tolerate heat.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. I'm going to take off this nozzle bit and see if that allows us to take the front end off, because then we can have a look through there and just see. Because there's nothing visibly wrong up here. There's little bits of corrosion here and there. Like you can see, we've got some green scum. Hang on a minute. You can't. No, that's the opposite direction to where we need to go.
But it's right there. So
okay. Yeah, okay. There's some green scum around there. However, that's not causing problems. That's not our issue. So, fine. Okay. Right. Let's go in. Let's go in further. I will. I'll take some more screws out. While Caradog finds other screws that
you know the little springy bit.
Oh right, yeah. Hang on a minute.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Right. So. Okay, I'm just going to start taking screws out. I just have to try and keep an eye. Oh, that does need to come out in order for us to go take this bit out. There we go.
Oh yes, it has LEDs or just like that.
Just like that. Right, so is that?
So that will let you lift that off, I guess.
Got another one there. I'm going to try and do this without undoing any of the plumbing. These pipes will come off fairly easily. Those are just spring clips, but it would be nice not to have to undo any hoses if we can help it. You ready to come off yet? Not yet. What else is holding you on? Oh, nothing. Just needed some encouragement. Okay, so now if I go around these screws around the outside, I think the bottom assembly will drop out, which will allow us to get the actual main housing off, which is what's holding us up from getting to the spicy zone.
Can you adjust the actual exposure on the webcam?
Possibly. If you go, if you open Logitune, just double click on it. No, Logitune won't work over RDP. It's really annoying. Logitune doesn't work over RDP. So no, actually, I cannot adjust the exposure, I'm afraid. The only other thing you could do is grab just another one of the lights, just so we can just point a light down in here.
Yeah.
Oh, you just plug it into the wall over here.
Yeah. I was just looking at where I was going to actually put it.
Yeah. Very little inside these is serviceable. I agree, Chris. I don't think we're going to really find anything interesting. We're kind of just sort of seeing what comes up at the moment.
I was very much double and then triple and then quadruple checking that this was not the power cable for the computer.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I can do that now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting to happen, it to come out the top.
So if I just start pulling that up, what holds me up? The steam pipe is holding me up. That almost looks like it would drop out if I removed the hose that was clamping it on. So I shall do that. Oh, I'd put it on the other side of the bench personally, but sure.
Well, I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Only because you're working much closer to you.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, blimey. That hose does not want to come off. Oh. Nope, Well, I can't abandon that. That has to come out in order for this thing to come out.
Ah.
Or does it? That's not what's holding me up. Yeah, actually that was sensible, Caradog. Okay, that's a bit more light, yeah.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
What, with the extra light?
It's still a case of how much more light do you need?
Yeah. Again, the camera's on fairly low exposure because it's usually pointing at white mouse mats and stuff like that. And also, yesterday, the last thing I was filming was the Xbox controller repair, which there was a lot of white things in shot for that. What's that hitting? I think it might be hitting the metal part. Don't tell me that's got to come off. That can't be done. I mean, we could just take out more screws. I think I might. Yeah. Oh, have you just managed to... Oh.
There you go.
That's fucking teamwork.
Yeah, that won't come through because of the pipe.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Is that what we caught on? No.
Oh,
yeah,
she's going. She's
that's
going.
That's as far as we can get because of this pipe here.
Okay, so if we can get it off of that end... Yeah, okay, I'm going to let that relax because we did it once, it can do it again. Let me try and take off the pipe at this end instead.
They have PCs in refrigerators with Wi-Fi. Why not in a coffee machine?
Because you can tell your coffee machine to turn on to the moment you wake up, so it'll be heated up by the time you get out of bed. Because you can't wait for 5 minutes.
My question is, how many coffee machines do you know that take 40 minutes to heat up?
Yeah. Right. How did you get that up high again? Just jiggle. There's nothing to hold on to here. Oh, hang on.
I did that.
Ah. Okay, right.
And I gave it some force from the bottom.
Right. Can you support the base?
I was going to turn it over and just make sure we're not pulling it at anything this way. Because
which we kind of are. Yeah. Oh, the whole center. Okay. Right. We're going. She's going. No.
Oh yeah, and it was an earth that was holding on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. Ah. All right. Well, the good news is...
Why is that so warm?
I don't know how that heater is holding on to so much heat. It's still almost hot to the touch. It's still almost hot. Like, yeah. I mean, but then I suppose, you know, it's a heating element. It's designed to hold on to heat without losing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess it just holds on. Well, the bad news is that having done all of that, I mean, everything in there is clean. There's no visible issues. Like, yeah, I can't see any bad connections in here. This thing is pretty well built, all things considered, isn't it? Yeah, there hasn't, like, I was wondering if, like, condensation and stuff like that had just gotten down into here, and just, we might find little bits of condensation on everything, and we might be like, okay, well, there you go, there's your bad connection.
Yeah, but where's the actual bottom bit? Oh, I see. Oh, it's
no,
there.
there's
it's
oh
here.
yeah.
Just because there's these holes in the bottom, So I presumed
Oh yeah, you thought
it
some
had been
moisture had gotten up there.
placed on water and it had come through, because obviously there is all of this marking in there where just, clearly it's come through into the base of the unit. But it looks like stuff was just about high enough up for that not to be a problem.
Yeah,
which is intelligent.
This is in a nice enclosed area, so to speak, with a gap underneath it, so it can't, even sitting in a puddle, there's no way that liquid will actually get up to the board.
Yeah.
BIOS flash it. Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm just going to update the BIOS on my coffee machine.
Paul Daniels says $5 says they'll just toss it in the bin rather than going through the drama of putting it back together.
No.
No, this thing's going to work when we put it back together. We're going to put this back together again. I was about to say we're going to put this back together again and make a coffee, but I don't know if I've got any ground coffee in the shop. I'm going to check.
You're also missing a key feature.
Oh, we don't have the thing.
Yeah, you don't have the handle.
Yeah. All right, never mind. We can make some hot water with it.
Absolutely.
We could pour some hot water. I think I've got a cafetiere in the kitchen, so we could pour hot water into a cafetiere.
It's fine. We can froth up your coffee.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm horrified because, yeah, that's a thing we could do. Let's move this guy out of the way a sec. All right.
Would you like a frothy coffee? Also, I feel like as I have this off, I should probably it before we attach the base.
Sure. So
that's fine. We can leave that very much for last, because this was just the 6 screws or whatever.
I'm just trying to think how I'd approach that.
A toothbrush and a tap.
Toothbrush should probably do it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Toothbrush and a tap in a sink.
Yeah, sure. Very well. Okay, right. Real talk. Is there anything that we can do here? I don't think so. I don't see any bad connections. The only thing we found is just some little bits of in places that need cleaning.
Red and crystalline, and it was around one of the earth connectors. So I'm wondering if it was some sort of connection thing.
Bad earth? No.
No. As in, it was around like the earths at the top and
Yeah.
stuff as well. And I'm like, I don't know if it was intentional.
Like there's some crud here, and that's next to an earth tap, but like there shouldn't be any power there anyway. So yeah. The only other possible thing, it might be worth opening. I think we should open this guy up and see if there's anything to see in there around the buttons. Like these buttons should all be digital, but maybe if there's short circuits here, that would cause the device to go no, and just not power on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it looks like that's this.
I will start undoing more screws. Let's try those two.
I will carefully undo some screws.
I need a smaller screwdriver.
Where's the...
And
that size?
The Ferbs? Yeah, I'll use the big boy just because they're plastic screws.
Very well.
Yeah, so it might not be a bad connection. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. However, are you happy that both the coffee machines that were broken are now working again, or are you sad because it means that you no longer have an excuse to go and buy a fancy new one?
Yes.
Yeah, understood. Okay, that's got a nice big rubber seal, which has those don't look great. Despite that, rubber seal hasn't actually done I mean, there's no liquid in there, but you can see, if we go in for a close-up here, you can see, you probably can't, but there is some green on the metal there. So, you know, just, we have had just a humidity get in there. Let's pop this guy open.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's
and
actually
also like around there as well.
Yeah. You kind of expect.
Yeah, I mean,
shmoo around the buttons.
Yeah. All right, so that doesn't look terribly happy. Let's just check. Hang on a sec. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, so there's a little bit of corrosion on these contacts, but I don't think that's really the issue. This guy though, we've got like a trail going down that trace there. Is that a trace? No, that's a drip or something that's come down there. There's no trace under that.
Just attack it with some IPA and a toothbrush.
I think so. Yeah, like. I don't think this is really our issue because I don't think a problem with these buttons could prevent the machine from switching on.
No, but it would cause the LEDs to flicker.
Yes,
because the LEDs shine through.
Yeah.
They shine through this, so wherever the LED actually is.
Yeah, LED. Yeah. The little yellow dots there.
It will cause them to flicker.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'd have to buzz this out to see how it's wired, but like if, you know, that little trail going from that diode down to whatever that is, that might have been leaking some current. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab the IPA and a toothbrush and we'll just give this a quick, you know, like, I'm not going to bother going to town on this thing, but...
I'm not going to bother putting it in the ultrasonic cleaner.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, really. Thanks.
And here's the close-up for the brushing action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's some brushing ASMR. Paul Daniel says, "Oh, amateurs. You got a lot of nerve coming here, Paul."
I'm sorry, is Paul an ASMR expert?
No, Paul would be like, okay, you're not ultrasonicking it. Well, I was talking to Paul in his stream the other day about ultrasonic techniques, and he was telling, because I was just like, oh, you know, what temperature do you ultrasonic at, etc., etc. And yeah,
he doesn't need to heat his ultrasonic because Australia.
It's entirely possible because Paul runs his at 55C, so that's only like, you know, a couple of degrees above ambient, right?
That's only like 10 degrees above ambient.
Put the whole device in the ultrasonic. I mean, it would fit, you know. All right.
Yes! Made him laugh, even though we were insulting Australia.
Yeah, there were various jokes about, because Paul's camera is upside down at the moment because of reasons, so there were various jokes about upside down Australia there. Okay, right, let's that's that.
Brushy,
did it.
brushy.
Yeah, let's put this thing back together again. I don't think there's anything to see here. Let's put it back together again and see if it still works.
Yeah. Ah!
You fool.
Oh, the buttons are actually brown.
Yeah, no, they have not discoloured. They're just brown tactile buttons.
I thought they had discoloured to brown. I was just like, wow, that's something. But no. Fair enough.
Yeah. Apparently, during high summer, we're at 43C on some days. Good grief. Carrot Hop really is the podcast soundboard. There's been some good ones today. I can see you going into like Slink's next Phasmo stream, and just on your soundboard, you just have a sound, you know. All right, okay. Stay on top. Stay on target. Let's reassemble this. Is that your creaking door sound? Who was the guy from Police Academy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
However, yes.
Yeah. I thought he was super cool, that dude.
Did you know they made like 9 police academies?
I didn't know there were 9 of them. I knew there were a lot. I'm gonna brush this crud off of here while it's open.
Ages ago, I went to download Police Academy because I was like, oh yeah, that was a good one. And it said like Police Academy complete collection, 450 gigabytes, and I was like, excuse me.
I mean, you could probably see like a couple of them, and you know that's it. You've seen Police Academy.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was just the fact that I was just like,
I can see that being a series where like after like after the second film, it just turns into repeat gags.
Yeah. It's also the fact of I'm quite impressed that Spud's seen them, given they're 20 years older than he is.
Oh wow, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Because that's what happened to a lot of comedy movies that had sequels. Like in a way, that's kind of one of the reasons why Back to the Future Part 3 is a bit nah. Because the problem with Back to the Future Part 3 is half the jokes in it are recycled, where it's like the joke is because it's the same thing happening again and again, but also that doesn't stop it from just being a recycled gag. And you're just, like, they'll do a bit where he wakes up in an unfamiliar location and it's just like, I'll be up in a minute, Mom, kind of thing. And just like, you've done this like twice in every movie now. We know this gag. You've done this gag. It's just like, yeah, now he's doing it in the Old West. We get it, Yeah.
Oh, yes, the third one is the one with the train and throwing bombs in trains.
Yes, effectively, yeah. Visual effects, though, fantastic.
Spud attempting to defend the fact that he is supposedly cultured.
And Fast and Furious 11. I haven't seen any 11? Fast and Furious since like 6, I think.
I thought we were on 9. I thought the new one was going to be the 9th one.
I don't know.
Have I somehow managed to miss like 3?
Someone confirm that. How many Fast and Furious movies are there? And don't say too many, we know. However,
it's still the fact of I still think the title of the 10th one, if it hasn't come or if it has come, should have been Fast 10 Your Seatbelt.
Okay, be honest. Is that your joke or did you steal that?
Probably stole it.
Okay. Either way, that's a good one. Fast 10 Your Seatbelt. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, isn't the 10th one called Fast 9? No!
Right. I'm reassembling.
I should go back and watch the first 3, 4 Fast and Furious.
I like the first one. The Fast and the Furious is a product of its time, but a good movie for what it sets out to be.
Yeah, it's also very much a product of its time, given they're stealing 14-inch TVs with built-in VCRs.
Yeah, that's it.
Hello, 1992.
Yeah, but also the actual plot line of the movie it's not awful, especially considering it was supposed to be, the problem with the new movies is that they've got they've got B-movie plot lines with AAA budgets kind of thing, which is just kind of dumb,
Yeah.
Where the first one was not awful because it didn't need to be anything more. The second one, I thought I haven't seen the second one in a hot minute, but it was
the first one, second one, Tokyo Drift. I think that's it. 1, 2.
Tokyo Drift is the third. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those 3 were also very, very culturally relevant because they were big when the modding scene was particularly big.
Yeah, that as well.
The JDM modding scene, certainly in the UK,
they were made
probably in America, was big. It was a big thing to modify JDM cars.
Yeah, and just cars in general. Whereas just like these days, like you don't see, you don't see like sex spec cars anymore.
Yeah.
As and auto salon and stuff like that. It's just not a thing anymore. When I don't know about you, but certainly when I was a kid, everyone had a Fiesta or a 106 with a fat exhaust on it. Everyone had one, Whereas nowadays you don't there's still the odd shed driving around with a stupid exhaust on it. And like that one Honda we saw that was scraping over the tabletops that we laughed at,
what did I see the other day?
Yeah, but all things considered, you just don't see them very often anymore. So Fast and Furious, it just doesn't feel relevant these days.
I can't remember what car it was, but you could see the marks on the tires where it was rubbing.
Oh no, yeah.
And I was like, you have gone too far.
Yeah. Right, we were going that way up, weren't we? So I'm going to try and do that.
I think we want
so if you support that, I'm going to thread the cord up the bottom.
Well, in the top.
Yes. Yes.
Because
that all goes through there. Am I the way? Yes, I am the correct way around. Get out of the way, camera.
There you go.
Right.
Then you want to...
I'm just going to slowly descend and assume that you'll move your hand in time.
This needs to connect up there. Then, hold on, come back out a second, because there's an earth somewhere that we don't want to get trapped. So I'm just going to wrap that round there and then hold my finger over the top of that.
Yeah.
And then...
Oops, sorry. Sorry.
There you go.
All right, there you go. If you start releasing your hand now, and I think
that's good.
Start dropping.
We're good there.
Oh, one sec.
It's a Model E. I don't know what Model E it is, but it's a Model E.
I'm getting held up by some hoses. Oh, I see what's going on with those. There we go. There we go. Down
right, hold on.
Oh.
Come back.
Yeah.
I need that to go through.
Oh, yeah. See.
There. Now, there you go. Now, if I keep pulling that,
right. I think we can probably flip this over now. Yeah.
Ooh. There we go.
That needs to just. There we go. Don't care what it does. It just needs to not be where it was. Okay.
There you go.
Lower it down. There we go.
Excellent. You have blue and stuff on you.
I've got just
go wash your hands.
Okay.
There we go. This sorts this problem. Oh, I see. You took the clip off of that from the other end. Okay. Okay.
Hand washing ASMR.
Oh yes, because wireless microphones. I hadn't considered that. Oh yes. Now you can hear the sounds of running water. There you go.
All right.
So how did you do this on the other side? Did you just wiggle it around a bit?
Yeah. One sec.
I'd forgotten you'd undone this.
Yeah.
So I was like, how did you get into that very small hole?
Magic hands.
Absolutely.
Do you want me to do this bit because I took it
Yeah,
apart? Yeah.
go ahead. I am more than happy for you to stick the bits back together again.
Very well. Yeah, I did take this bit apart, so I vaguely remember how it goes back together again.
Finally, it's Caradog takeover time. Now you make it sound like I'm doing some engineered audience interaction time. You know, like they do on the radio shows where they say, text in with your song you want to take over the radio with it. At 5 past the hour.
Please write our playlist for us.
I'm like, okay.
Or the artful form of YouTube fishing for comments in videos, like in the Electric Duster video where I said, which one do you have? Spoilers, I don't care which one you have. I was fishing for comments. So but on the other hand, though, it was actually legitimately interesting because there were a lot of people who said, "Oh, I've had like what's the evac, the data vac." A lot of people saying, "Oh, I've had a data vac for like 5 years, still going strong." It's like, oh, okay, well, they certainly endure then, you know.
Yeah.
So, right.
It would be kind of a bit of a bad look for an item that's somewhat used in computer repair to not be very long-lasting and so on.
Imagine built-in obsolescence and designed to fail just out of warranty in the electronics industry. God, imagine living in such a world.
Why would you do that, though? Like, I don't see why you do that, because it would be so terribly difficult to calibrate it.
Oh, right, yes, I see what you mean, yeah. Well, I don't know if it was ever proven, but at some point...
I mean, I can understand it if it's like something with over-the-air updates for software, because then you can... They're here.
Oh, yes, for those three, yeah. At some point for... back in the day when Samsung were still making their own hard drives, I think before Seagate acquired their hard drive division, there was a scandal that Samsung had built in a kill the motor after a certain number of run hours into the firmware. I don't recall whether it was ever proven or not. but rumor has it it was there. So yeah, don't know if anyone else remembers that or knows anything more about it.
But how would you make sure that that was outside the warranty?
Yeah.
Because if you're or are you going to go on the thing of kind of
the warranty would be a limited warranty anyway.
Yeah, but are you running on the fact of then you just have it kill the motor after 2 years of continuous on time, therefore guaranteed to be outside of the 3-year warranty?
Yeah, something like that.
Sort of thing.
And then obviously, like your limited warranty is only going to account for a certain number of on-time hours anyway, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
So they could then just turn, when they go sort of, oh, it failed within warranty, they send it in. They'd be like, oh, this thing's got 10,000 hours on it, so no, we're not warranting that. Or I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know what minimum time before failure would be on a hard drive actually, but yeah, yada yada yada. Yeah, printers had it too. Yeah, that doesn't surprise. Printers, printers are such a scam. I don't entertain printers anymore now. When people used to talk to me about printers, I'd be like, "What's the problem?" Or tell me about it, and I'll see if I can come up with anything. Whereas now it's just like, "No, I don't do it. No, no, no," and they're like, "Well, I got it. No, but what about no? Just no, no printers. I'm done with printers. That's such a scam. It's untrue." So yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've only ever bought mono lasers, so I couldn't comment.
Lasers, no problem. Inkjets specifically, though. Yeah.
I don't know what that's from, but I suddenly remembering a thing.
I mean, yeah.
I'm suddenly remembering a thing as though it's a reference. So I'm like, uh-oh. I've been infected.
Minecraft villager noises.
Also, thank you for the £10, Spud. Spud feels flush because it's his payday on
Very
Monday.
well. Well, thank you very much, Spud. That's much appreciated, man. Yeah. I did a bit, just to update chat as well, I've done a little bit more tinkering with the test bench that we assembled last week, and that is looking a bit tidier now. The GPU repair setup is still growing. We've stuck an air cooler on it, so it's much neater setup now. The Wi-Fi card is temporary. I'm actually just going to pull that out now because we're just essentially done with that. There we go. But yeah, it's getting more compact. I'm going to jiggle the layout a bit more, but also I've tightened up all of the screws and fittings on it, so it's a lot more rigid now. Needs a handle or something, but that thing's developing. I'm quite fond of that now, actually. I really like it. I still want to build an actual serious gaming PC like that. But yeah, don't know.
I was just say, if you're going to have it so it's usually pointing with the back towards you, wouldn't you want the CPU cooler the other way around so it's blowing away from you?
The thought occurred to me. So yeah, I think it would only fit on that way round, but I can't remember. Or unless I just put it on. Oh yeah, if you turn it around, then the writing won't line up. And I want all the writing to be pointing the same direction. I probably shouldn't on this build, but you know how it is. It's that heartbreaking moment where your VRM, your motherboard VRM has got like Gigabyte written on it, but your RAM has got Corsair written on it 180 degrees around the other way. And no, it's not all in the same alignment. And it's just, come on. Someone knows that struggle.
See, do you know how I fix this?
By not having this, or by having the cellophane on your window, yeah. You have a windowed side panel because you must. However, you just don't take the peel off of it because you're a monster.
Yeah, it's also not been on the case for the past, month and a half.
Understandable.
Because I couldn't be bothered to actually tidily mount the power supply. Because I needed a secondary power supply. But I didn't need one, I just thought it was advisable to not run two 3090s on a single 850 watt.
This is true, yeah.
Although, yes, Chris, I agree, the solution to that problem is to take the heat sinks off of your RAM modules.
Yeah.
So you know what I was saying about I'll be very impressed if this is flush?
Well, I'm going to give that a shove. Look.
I'm going to give that a shove. Top pops off.
Shush. Shut up, your face. Also, this bit's going to be covered up anyway.
I want a
You
fork
won't
on
see
the
it.
table.
There we go.
You
Right.
can't forget to reconnect the earthing.
That one is in because you must have put that in. It's a good thing. Oh, we can still get to that anyway. Then there's one at the bottom, which I think I'm going to be able to get from underneath.
Wasn't there one here as well?
No, it was down the bottom right.
Cool. Okay.
So we're making progress here, actually. Right.
The top earth never came off.
Yeah, that's there. There's nothing else that needs to go in there, is there?
Earthed. That's fine. Good. I'm just making sure it is actually
I was going to
earthed.
say, considering we actually want to put this thing into service, it's actually important to make sure that those are
Doesn't
still
it go
connected.
the other way around? Not the other way around, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Right.
Oh, what? How?
What if I do...
Do not.
Yeah, nope, do not. I think, what if I shove that on? There we go. Yeah, you just kind of...
Yeah.
It's on.
I don't like it. However, now it stands.
Indeed. Right, so that needs to go around, and that goes down to that boy down there. And that shield, I'm going to turn this around so I
Get
can...
in there.
And then that connects the earthing for this front panel, which I've just completely lost sight of now. Oh yeah, I see where it's going.
Did you bother to test it still work before putting it back together? No! I was not going to test it in that disassembled state.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have learned anything anyway, because like we've taken this apart, but we haven't done anything really. We've seen what it looks like on the inside, so that was kind of interesting, I guess.
Absolutely.
However,
and you know the worst thing that happens if it doesn't work?
Hmm.
It means I can get a fancy one.
Yeah. Oh, woe betide me.
So, you know, one of those ones like this, where it's got like the two on there.
So you can
and then a
dual
separate-
wield. Yeah.
Well, when we're making coffee, we're usually doing it for 4 or 5
Well,
people.
I was just going to say, yeah, you're in an office. You actually have a legitimate excuse for a office-sized coffee machine.
for a 2-head one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Although the fact that this coffee machine is being fixed after being completely rogered, because that's the reason why we've got the red one, is because this one was completely rogered.
Yeah.
Yes, because we've got that, we could in theory just have 2
Yeah.
and then make 2 at a time. How do you eat yours? That's going to be a niche reference.
I recognise. I can't remember where
With
that's.
a paintbrush.
What is that from? I recognise it.
The Cadbury's cream egg adverts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Oh God, those were weird. Those ones, weren't they?
If you're in an office, you have a good reason to get an industrial machine that makes liquid cardboard. Excuse me, Chris. What the?
Very well.
But also, yes, the stainless screw is that one.
Yes,
It's the
that's got to go in
countersunk
that one.
one.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Countersunk, yes.
Yes, countersunk.
I was about to say flanged. I was like,
Yep.
probably
There was
not.
nothing else in here. That just goes on there,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yep. I get. Yeah, that's just a nozzle that spreads the water out, doesn't it?
Yes, it ensures the even distribution. See, I ended up on coffee TikTok. And
Yeah.
coffee drinkers, people who take coffee seriously,
Yeah.
and who are going to tell me that this machine can't make good coffee,
Yeah.
are the same people who will spend £400
Yeah.
on a small brush to correctly distribute the granules of ground coffee inside the machine, so you get an even pour for a sublime experience.
There's weirdos in every breed, isn't there? It's like audiophiles who've got to buy like $20 little blocks of balsa wood to hold the cables up off the floor. You know, it's just like I'm sure that you can find a laboratory test that shows that partially improves things.
It partially
However-
improves something.
Yeah, and like
The bank balance of the company you purchased it from.
absolutely, and also like I'm sure that if you've got your coffee grounds completely like engineer's table flat, that is going to improve the brew. Will you taste the difference? Hell fucking no.
Right.
And I defy them to do blind tests and actually see the difference.
I can't remember what it was. Oh, yes. There was a bunch of audiophiles self-professed audiophiles who self-proclaim to have golden ears and be
right.
able to tell the difference between all these different machines and stuff.
Yeah.
Someone set up, they took whatever the current new hotness full height floor standing speakers were,
Yeah.
gutted them,
Yeah.
then put in there the speakers they got out of the cheap little hi-fi machine they bought down at Tesco.
Oh no.
Right? And used bent coat hangers that they brazed together
Yeah.
and put them in the units.
Yeah.
And then in the next room had the proper equipment.
Yeah.
And we're like, tell the difference. They're like, oh yeah, the rooms sound a bit different, kind of thing. And I was like,
really?
yeah. Apparently. And this was like 6 or 7 people. The problem is I can never find the actual source because it was done as there was a proper paper written on it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Not paper, proper magazine review.
Like, I mean, obviously there's going to be some difference between low quality and high quality speakers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
and I'm like, but it was more of the fact I was like,
yeah. Although there's going to be some, like, there's going to be some people out there that actually can't hear the difference between garbage and quality and think they can. Like, most people will know the difference, sure, but there's going to be some people who just cannot tell the difference because they're morons. You know, or failing that,
well,
you're going to get some people who've convinced themselves that a bad sound is good because it's got character. I'm looking at you, vinyl lovers. Vinyl is bad. It sounds bad. You can admit that you like the character.
Hold on a minute.
You can admit that you like the character.
Vinyl doesn't sound bad.
But don't tell me that it's a good format versus CD.
Okay, what is your definition of good in this situation?
True to the original recording.
Okay.
Because if you're not being true to the original recording, then good is anything you want it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't disagree with that. But yeah, a case of obviously if you're saying, oh yes, what is the accuracy compared to the original recording? Just the digital recording that was the original recording is obviously going to be closest to the original recording. So yeah, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just kind of going, yeah. But I know an awful lot of people who enjoy vinyl say about the process in the same way as cafetières.
Yeah, see, that's fine. If you like the ceremony of it, no problem. Absolutely fine.
Yeah. But saying that it is a better audio reproduction format? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yes, that's it. And it's also just the fact that, you know, most people who are listening to records saying that it sounds better have probably got terrible record decks and the record is going and on the player and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure there's some people out there who've got some absolutely cracking vinyl setups where that record is flat as a pancake and all the rest of it, and it does actually sound like the best vinyl you've ever heard.
I think
but it objectively cannot be better than CD. Just objectively, literally cannot.
Do you know of the channel Techmoan?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't watch it, but I know Techmoan. Yeah.
They have they do wow and flutter tests every now and then on like cheap cassette decks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And his comment of just like, oh yeah, and this one sounds awful.
Yeah.
Sounds bloody terrible. And then he compares it to like his good sample one. I'm just like, shit.
What? Because you can't hear it.
I can't tell.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh yeah, this one's got like a wow of 3%. And that's awful. You know, I'd expect it to be maybe 0.1%. I'm like, oh, we're like an order of magnitude off of acceptable, and I can't tell.
Also, to an extent, that then just means that we need to change our, you know, again, you have to ask yourself what your parameters are, because it's a matter of, you know, like, you and I don't really care about analog audio. We like digital audio. So we don't know what good analog audio sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. But also a case of just not being able to tell the difference in an A-B comparison.
I guess,
I was like, oh, okay, I'm just not going to even attempt.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, well. Right, now I've dropped 1,000 subscribers for slating vinyl. Let's turn this on and see if it still works like it worked before.
Yeah, absolutely. How about vinyl for your flooring? How do you think that sounds?
It's not bad, actually, because you get something that is visually attractive, not particularly expensive, and it's slightly softer underfoot, so it's not deafeningly loud. And also, your phone probably won't break if you drop it onto there, unlike these actual tiles, which are merciless. So, yeah. It's the same guy that says there's no microphone echo a couple of weeks ago. Look, when I went back and listened to it, it was intermittent, and it was intermittent.
I'm also pretty certain I just picked the wrong section.
Oh, yeah, yes. I think that's the case, yeah, because...
Because I went back to it when someone timestamped it and went, oh, okay.
Yeah, because, yeah, definitely. There were sections where the microphone echo was there and sections where it wasn't. It was very much intermittent. When the microphone echo was there and I heard it, I was like, oh, wow, yeah, there is echo there. So, yeah. Anyway.
Also, like the original saying about working in plastic and it being horrible. Yeah, and the original records being made out of shellac, which is literally made out of bugs. And it's just like,
yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so firstly,
in theory, nothing should happen if the power button's off.
Oh, I didn't do it properly. Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah.
It is on. It is flashing. It
Excellent.
is presumably that flash means there is no water.
No, it means it's heating up.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Well,
so, as far as I can tell, it heats up the heater without any water, and then when you push the thing, it then starts to draw water through it.
Fair enough. Have we got any? Oh, that's the other one. Where's the red one? Because that one's got some water in it, hasn't it?
Yes. Also, the bottom of that one very much needs cleaning, because I don't know what this milkiness is.
Yeah, it's just lime scale, isn't it?
I don't want to drink.
Yeah. Do you use a water filter in the office? I'd assume not.
No.
Yeah. Water filter.
No, I clean them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, water filter to victory. Water filters are worth every penny if you're in a hard water area, which is basically just the entire south of England, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, huge swaths of the country.
Yeah.
Do you want to put your mug underneath it?
Oh, yeah, my mug is currently empty. Do I hold it or? Oh.
That's what I'm saying about it heats with no water, so it draws a little bit through. Yeah. Then it actually starts doing it.
Coffee machine go burr.
There you go. So that's a single shot.
I see. And then you would, then can it just put hot water? Well, yeah.
And then if you do it again, see it didn't need to, it didn't pause, and then it just goes.
Yeah. So how do you then put the rest of the hot water in once you've got your shot of espresso? Do you need a kettle for that?
A coffee? A kettle. A kettle,
yeah.
And then you pour it in a coffee. Although, if you look at how much water that one actually puts out.
Yeah. Quality content, everyone.
Absolutely. Hot content. See, now we can use the thermal camera and go,
I mean, we can, yeah.
Oh, it's run out of water.
Oh, yeah. Fine. Presumably it's going to complain a minute. Does it not have a no water sensor?
Yeah, there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Jay, no, this is an espresso machine. You put, you know when you go into a coffee shop and they've got the big machines that have the little handle thing that goes underneath with the compacted coffee in it? It takes one of those, we just don't have the handle thing.
Yeah. Because I expected us to be dealing with it doesn't turn on.
Yeah, that's
it fills it to about there.
Oh yeah, that's quite a lot.
It's a case there, actually.
Yeah, that put like the best part of half a mug in on the double shot. So yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the steam purge?
Yeah. So that then means, that then means that you can use the steamer.
Okay, and then...
Well, I'm literally just going to...
Oh yeah.
So there's water in there. And then that just... whittles. Apparently it's slightly unhappy because it just wet the table.
It probably, I mean, it didn't have a lot of time to warm up, and also like we've mess this thing about. It probably...
And here's where you get the steam.
It probably needs like a couple of cycles, and like you probably just need to leave that open so it can actually start blowing steam.
There we go.
Yeah, there it goes, yeah.
There you go. The steaming is, for some reason, quite temperamental on this one.
Okay, yeah.
Actually steam. Go on.
It's a bit asthmatic, isn't it? Yeah.
There we go. It's getting there. There we go.
Huh. Well, that is steam. So yeah. All right. Ow. I like it how the steam comes up and just makes the handle too hot. So, cool. All right. Well.
Yeah, and then because those are flashing like that, it means it's too hot. And then you can go, okay, then cool down.
Okay. It's a bit weird that it can overheat itself.
Well, because obviously it's not actually boiling the water to go onto the coffee.
Yeah.
It's only heating it up, but that's obviously boiled.
Yeah. I see, yeah.
So it's so it doesn't burn the coffee.
Okay,
because you don't want 100-degree water on your coffee.
Yeah. Very well.
Or, you know.
So now that's cooled, it would then do another... Yeah. Okay. Well, it did a thing. So,
there you go.
Stick a Calgon tablet in it. Yeah, actually, that's the thing. That's what this machine needs next, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It needs descaling and a cleanup. And
specifically use a bright red descaler.
Mm. Because, so you can tell when it's run clear.
Because also it changes colour to yellow when you can't reuse it, because it's a reusable limescale descaler.
Oh, interesting.
It's bright red when it's descaling, when it can descale, when it's still acidic, and then it turns yellow when it's been neutralised.
Yeah.
So as you run it through, obviously you run it through, and the first time it will probably come through reasonably yellow.
Mm.
And then as you get to the end of the clean, it goes much more red. And you know that it has actually cleaned off a lot of the limescale.
Ah, I see. Yes. Yeah. Neat. Fair enough. Yeah, I use one of those sachets in mine where you just pour the sachet in the back and then you just run like 10 tanks through it before it stops, before the flavour goes or the taste goes. Because interesting. Yeah. Although I
don't know if I want to taste limescale remover. You
don't, because as like the instructions say, oh, just run the tank through kind of thing. It's like, no, I've got to run like 10 tanks through my machine before you like by the 8th or 9th, you can't, like if you taste it, you're like sort of, oh, there's still something wrong with that kind of thing. So then I run another 2 tanks through it, and then you taste it and you're like, yeah, that just tastes like water now. But I don't do mine that often now because I got a water filter specifically so I wouldn't have to do it so often, because water filters are genuinely magic. And just and I know because I use one on my kettle at home, and like the kettle at home, before we got the water filter, like just one boil in the kettle and you would see limescale forming on the bottom of it. Whereas now it's like a month before there is a spattering of scale on the bottom of the kettle. So
I found something quite interesting with that.
Incredibly effective.
Cleaning the kettle and so on is a case of you get a better cup of tea specifically, after the kettle has deposited a very fine layer of limescale across the heating element.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's odd.
Right. All right. So what's our plan now? I'll turn this thing off just so it's so we need to put the bottom panel back on, but we're going to clean that first before we put it back on. And the rest of it can be cleaned while it's built, but that one needs to be cleaned before it goes back on. So we won't worry about that now. All right. What is our plan then? So
I don't know. The one thing we can do, because I said I had a theory about that, is we can try an older juicer version and see if it sorts it.
Yeah, sure. All right. Right. So should we clear? I tell you what.
Very much clear.
I will start clearing down the. I'll start clearing down the bench. Do you want to explain to people what the problem with the with the crosshair
I will my hands first.
Yep.
Just because I have the same issue you did of just stuff.
Yeah.
Also, open wounds.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. So okay, we're going to get the test bench out. That's got Caradog's Crosshair and 5950X in it. And this Crosshair motherboard has been giving us grief, and Caradog has a theory on what might stop it from giving us grief. So we've still got like half an hour to an hour before I want to pack up. So we're going to get that out and have a look at that just as something else to look at now. So give us 5 minutes while we just swap around the bench.
Absolutely, yes. My theory is, and it's to do with...
Tell us what the problem is first.
Yes, and my theory is to do with the board, where for some reason, when you specifically set the Infinity Fabric clock, the memory controller clock, and the actual RAM speed, above 3600 RAM speed, the memory controller will not stay in 1-to-1, even if you've set the setting to set it to 1-to-1 and to be locked to 1-to-1. It will change to 1-to-2, so you're getting half speed, which murderizes your performance.
Yeah,
I can't remember what we were comparing. Oh yeah, it was when we had both of the boards, the 5700X Master and the Crosshair Dubry Whatsit. There, and basically I'm suddenly now clipping a lot. I'm going to remember to talk down here for a moment. And it was and we just ran Limpack one after the other, exactly the same RAM speeds and everything, but one of them was just half the speed of the other one because the memory controller was at half speed.
Yeah.
And we dropped like 40%, or we dropped to 60% of the performance.
Yep. And this was an incredibly frustrating issue because we, and by we I mean you, we spent like after a podcast 1 week, we put it up on the bench and Caradog was dicking around with it and he was fighting it for like, I mean, we finished the podcast like somewhere between 6:30 and 7, and we must have been here until midnight.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, we were.
While you were messing around with it, getting steadily more frustrated with the fact that the board was not doing what you were telling it to do.
Yeah, and it was at the point...
And you were like, because you were just like, am I going insane? And we swapped out different CPUs, different motherboards, different RAM kits.
Yeah.
And it was just that motherboard would just not do as it was told.
And it wasn't an Asus thing because we used 2 of this board.
Yeah.
Because you happen to have 2 of them.
That's right.
And literally set the RAM speed, set it all on here, worked absolutely fine, did what it should.
Yeah.
Got the other one of these, which was the one that we fixed 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
3 weeks ago, something like that.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
And it did exactly the same thing. It did precisely what we expected. Yeah. Set the speed of the RAM, set the memory controller clock, set the Infinity Fabric clock, and it took the setting that we actually set.
Yeah.
And it was...
This was particularly vexing because obviously our long-term goal is to start doing extreme overclocking with that setup. And so we were stuck in this situation of, well, if it doesn't do these basic things, it's not viable as a platform that we're going to be working with.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't like we're trying to set completely mad
this was
memory controller clocks. It was just 3800.
Yeah.
Or even 3666 just wouldn't work.
Okay, right.
So that's all fine, basically. I just require a GPU of some kind.
Yep. Let me grab the 1060.
Which should be there.
1060.
Thank you.
And I will sort you out. I'll just sort out some HDMI capture.
There you go.
Right. Hopefully this won't completely destroy the stream as I unplug a monitor from my laptop. Good. And I will just get the capture card.
There we go. Yeah, so there you go. And yes, and what I think part of the issue might be is that a change in behavior on the actual Agisa, because I've got an X570S Master at home in my home PC, and I updated the BIOS last night to the newest version that has a new Agisa version as well, and it's now got the same behavior.
Yeah.
Where setting anything faster than 3600 means that the memory controller goes into 2-to-1 mode, even though before this update it wasn't. And it's a case that, yeah, the board, the RAM, etc., were happily tootling along at 4,000 effective clock on the RAM, 2,000 memory controller, 2,000 Infinity Fabric on that board, that processor, that RAM. And then just doing the update, the memory controller would no longer do what it was told, effectively.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, should we just boot this thing up and make sure it starts and runs?
Yeah, absolutely. And basically, the thing I'm just expecting is if we go to an old enough BIOS version, it will start working as it should because it will have an old enough AGESA version.
There's that. And
it's in the back of a GPU bench.
I pulled it out and put it down somewhere because I'm a genius.
Oh, okay.
Ah, good. I was going to say, it won't be far away. I just couldn't tell you where it is. Right, let's swap places so you're sitting in front of the monitor.
Change places!
Change places! Okay, right.
Also, then, apropos to not what I was talking about, but motherboards, tangentially, I was looking at the X670E boards they got announced. I was like, look at all of that high-speed USB. Look at all that USB.
Indeed.
It's only taken us 10 years since USB 3 came out.
There's a lot of blue ports on the back of those motherboards. And also, I was watching the Gamers Nexus news roundup about that, and just when Steve said Asus, MSI, some Gigabyte, and BioStar were invited, and BioStar's just happy to be there. I was just like, oh, that's savage, man. Please power down and connect PCIe to graphics card. Good job.
Damn you and your substandard equipment.
I think this cable is here because it needs to be tested again, because I think this cable is a suspected bad. So we need to actually test that at some point.
It's bad because it's not plugged in. However, I like the fact that the graphics card could do that.
Yes, I appreciate graphics cards that will actually just throw up a screen saying, please plug in the main power.
Because we got had by that for several minutes with that 3090.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah, because again, and the 3090 didn't even scream at you, because normally if they don't throw up a picture, they'll at least scream at you, to let you know that there's a
really loud, annoying.
Yeah. Or have an LED or have something just to let you know that there's a problem with the power. But okay, right. I'm going to catch up on the chat now we've gone through all of that. So yeah.
Hey, the spam bots are here.
Yeah, thankfully, thanks Chris and mods. So Liam in Wales says, think the new BIOS also broke PBO.
Interesting you say that. There was specifically a mention in the newest Gigabyte BIOS that said reappeared.
Extreme.
Reappeared the what was it? Reappeared the boost clock override option.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Okay.
But yes, in PBO, there used to be an option where it said how you could change the clock offset by up to 200 megahertz.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That option disappeared.
Yeah.
A couple of BIOS versions ago. And it is back.
Very well.
And I went, is that 5800 X3D overclocking? No, it is not.
Very well.
But yes, I did genuinely think I'd lost my marbles, though, last night when I was looking at the BIOS, because I was looking for settings. I was like, why can't I find these settings? I don't know if these settings are missing because I've done a BIOS update, or if they're missing because I'm using a non-overclockable CPU.
Yeah, no, you think they'd be grayed out, wouldn't you? But then that's the thing, you never know, because there's just no consistency
missing
in BIOSes.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, right. Let's see. The open chassis is looking to bling out RGB Knight Rider effect. I don't know what we're doing with this thing yet, because like this is sort of the serious mode test bench now. Let me give you guys a picture of what's going on while I waffle. XR1C. And Live Gamer. There we go. Where was I? Yeah. So this bench is for when we're doing serious stuff bench now. However, also obviously, like the long-term goal is to stick this on the chiller, and the chiller is probably going to have its own motherboard mounts when that gets done. So when we actually start doing extreme overclocking again, it probably won't be on this particular bench. But on the flip side, though, like the frame rig that we built up last week, that is a really nice portable testing rig. But also, I think that's going to be specifically for older and mid-range stuff because it's got like 4th gen Intel on it. Whereas I think this boy here, this is going to be for when we have something serious on our hands, you know, that actually warrants putting some serious hardware onto the bench. Because the frame computer, I don't want to take that apart very often because it's a pain in the ass to take the motherboard on and off of it. Unless I modify it to be horizontal, it's a fucking pig to fit the motherboard to that thing. So it's like it's really easy to swap the graphics card out now, which is the original goal. That's what I wanted. So it's achieved that, but as a testing bench, it's not actually very good. Whereas this, obviously, much better. So yeah, that's that. Cider time. I was thinking about it. I was eyeing up the rest of my Arctic coffee and also the cider, and I was like, I'm going to carry on drinking this if I'm honest for now. I might have some cider later, though. Okay. Also, hello, Loloy Balaloy. Love the repair videos. YouTube helped me fix a lot of stuff. Thanks a lot, my dude. Glad you appreciate it. Right. Why isn't YouTube smart enough to spam? Oh, yeah. Big time, Jay. Like, yeah. The spam issue on YouTube is incredibly frustrating because I know it's an arms race, but man, yeah, I don't know. I think the issue with YouTube is, as when Linus Tech Tips did videos about this, is that YouTube just don't seem to acknowledge that there is a problem. I think that is the most frustrating part of all of this, is that they seem to act like it's not really a big deal. They'd just be like, we provide everyone with lots of tools for dealing with spam. And you're just like, can you not see how this is not... Most YouTube channels are not run by teams. And like people like I can't deal with the spam comments. I don't have time to sit and go through spam comments every day. Hell, I barely have time to go through the comments every day just because I've got other stuff to do. I try and go through comments because I like reading comments. But when all the time I'm going through the comments, I'm like, okay, I've gone through like a page or so of these. I should get some work done, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks for the desk cam info. Bought one for 130. Fair. Which one did you get? Is that for like the Brio or something like that? Is it really 1726? Yes, it is 17. It is now 1730. It is 5:30 in the UK. This is Greenwich Mean Time, the one true time zone. Oh wait, are we in British? We're in BST at the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
BST is bollocks. I'll concede that point.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see the point in daylight savings time.
Okay.
Okay. That's the noise you make when you don't have an opinion on it. So
I continue to be surprised by the level that people care about something that...
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. It's just I don't think it's necessary.
I turn my lights on.
Yeah. Brio reduced by Amazon 44%. Oof, that's a good saving. Yeah, if that was a Brio for 130 quid, that was a good price. But yeah. Again, webcam's going to webcam. They're not miracle workers. However, give them enough light and you'll get a good picture. Case in point, all of my videos, the overhead bench cam is a Logitech Brio. So that stands to prove what they are capable of if you give them enough light. Right, scanning down the chat one more time. Netherlands is 1 hour ahead at the moment. I forget, does BST go forward or backwards? It goes backwards. Forwards. Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
but European time, quote unquote, for Northern Europe, so France, Germany, etc. We will always be an hour out because we share a changeover day and stuff as well. So when they go back, we go back.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Very well.
I found out that Portugal doesn't do daylight savings the other day. I was just like, that makes sense.
I suppose they're closer to the equator, aren't they?
Yeah, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
Oh, JD says Teltac and Caradog is Graham's team. So Spud, Nugget, and Chris they don't count. They're just mods. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you both in specific ways.
Yes.
I'm not going to elaborate on that. Caradog, what are we up to here? Tell me about this machine.
Proving a point.
Okay.
So yes. So
this has the problem at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
What it should be is that, and not that, because they're set on a different ratio. But basically, the answer is that number should not be that number. Yeah. That number for memory controller, UCLK, should match that number.
Yeah. So it's currently exactly half of it, indicating that they are running at a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
And we want a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now if we drill into the BIOS, we'll probably find that the BIOS is indicating that they should be at a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And that's the thing that makes it most infuriating, is there's a specific setting for this that is just being ignored. But I don't know if that's because the AMD overclocking settings are broken on the newer Aegisa versions. You
had figured out a rough as guts method to bully it into working.
No, it was just a case of set a RAM speed of 3600 or less.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so what have we got dialed in at the moment then?
Yeah, so that was just set to 3666.
Yeah.
Because that's faster than 3600.
Yeah.
That's how I found out it was 3600 was the cutoff. And that's not a RAM support issue or anything like that, because because this is 44,000 RAM, as you can, or as it says 4395 for reasons.
Who's counting? Yeah.
RAM. So it's certainly not a RAM issue, and it's not a memory controller issue, because when I had it in that board, the memory controller ran it 1933, 1966, absolutely fine.
Yeah. Different boards, same RAM, same CPU, problem disappeared. As soon as it goes back into this board, the problem appears. So the fault is categorically with this motherboard. No questions. We tested it.
Damn it. Now I have to remember where the stupid arcane bloody option is.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It was in the AMD stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you had to go like another menu deeper to enable something, and then come back out of that, and then get it.
Yeah. So here, this option here.
Yeah.
That means that the memory controller, which is UCLK, uclock, should match memclock, memclk.
Yeah.
That setting says that they should be in 1-to-1. They should match. Because the option is to have it in
2-to-1 ratio. Yeah.
1 to
so
2.
Divided by 2.
In 1 to 2, divide by 2 for the memory, the controller clock to memory clock, or to just leave it in auto and it does what it wants.
Yeah.
The fact that I've taken it out of auto, specifically set the setting, and then it changes it, that's the bit that's annoying.
Yeah, because we are absolutely saying, you will run these at a 1-to-1 ratio, and the motherboard is going, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, so there's an argument to be made that perhaps the motherboard is trying to tell us, wait, I'm not able, the platform is not able to do that. Therefore, I will default to a 2-to-1 ratio. But it's a case of, no, I've told you not to do that. If you can't do that, then don't post.
Yeah, then fail to post.
Yeah, if you can't do it, then just fail. That's what manual means. If I want fallback, that's what auto settings are for. Yeah. Auto settings are do the best you can or fail until you do.
Yeah.
Manual settings are if you can't do it, then don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So yeah. All right, so there is our issue.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a case that I'm assuming that if we put an older reducer version on here,
Yeah.
it will fix that issue.
Okay.
Because I was on an older reducer version on my X570S Master, didn't have the issue. Went to a new reducer version, have the issue.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to not. Do you know which Aegisa version you were on?
No, I can't remember.
Yeah,
I need to look at the list to actually see what the numbers
so we need
are.
to look at the list and knock this back by like several versions to an old one.
Yeah, I
see if the problem disappears.
It's 0.0.0.5 older than 0.0.0.5.
Yeah. So we'll. So yeah, if you reboot back into Windows, then we'll stick a couple of different BIOS versions onto a flash drive. Go to a super old one. See if the problem disappears. If it does, then we can upgrade to a couple of newer versions and see exactly where the problem comes in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think will be the interesting test. I'll just grab. Oh, there was a flash drive hanging on that light. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to see what's on this flash drive. Let's see. Dave Weldon says, when F-clock and memory clock are desynchronized, U-clock will be set to 2-to-1 mode, regardless of whether you raise it or above the memory clock. Yeah, however,
because
F-clock and mem clock...
that's not the behavior that I had on my other motherboard before this update. So I was just wondering if it would solve it on here. However, setting everything to 1-to-1-to-1 didn't solve it above 3600.
Yeah. Plus,
but
also,
yes,
the F-clock and memory clock are going to be in sync anyway, aren't they?
No, you can separately set the Infinity Fabric. That's why I said...
I assume you've got your Infinity Fabric set to clock speed. Oh, no, you can only do that up to 2000 anyway, can't you?
No, not at the moment.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I was testing. Yeah, the settings that are on here are the last settings I was trying to test with to try and work out what was going on, which is why that is a different number to that, because it would be the same. Yeah. It was the same when I was testing previously.
Yeah. Liam in Wales reckons we want 1203C. Just as a side note, I'll keep a mental note of that number in a sec. I'm just looking for a flash drive that is suitable for BIOS flashing, because my flash drives are all messed up at the moment, and I can never remember which one is the BIOS update.
Also, the other thing about this board, it doesn't use a standard Wi-Fi controller, so Windows doesn't have a driver for it.
Oh, we got no Wi-Fi drivers?
No, but guess what the Gigabyte boards use?
Intel, yeah.
Ones that are included in the standard Wi-Fi stack, driver stack.
There's a widget. If you get the Wi-Fi installed, just so then it's got it for future stuff.
Stupid.
Yeah. Has it got like a killer NIC in it or something stupid like that?
It's got a Quantia 10 gig as well for wired, which is fancy, and I like that.
Yes, that is for BIOS updates. Let's delete whatever that one is. Okay.
Yeah.
Beginner's guide to overclocking would be great. Yeah, I agree, because honestly, I don't feel very qualified to talk about overclocking, because I'm very much in the realms of I can mess around with clocks and get some more speed out of things, but you know what they say, if you can't explain it well, you don't understand it well, and I don't feel like I could explain it well. However, I would like to, I'd like to get to a point where I could, kind of thing, especially for what overclocking is actually useful at the moment as well, because that's always a big question I have, is what overclocking can you do that is actually going to make any kind of meaningful difference? In my opinion, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, there's a flash drive for sticking BIOS off. Right. Dave Weldon asks, have you got F-clock and U-clock at the same speed?
Not currently. Because I was testing to try and find out. I will do that again. Hold on.
And yeah, as JD said, Buildzoid is a great place to learn. However, be prepared to have to sit and watch through unedited streams of consciousness. Buildzoid knows his stuff, but he's not very good at making videos, to be brutally honest. And in a way, that's his style. However, also just the knowledge is there, but you need to actually pay attention to extract it.
Yeah. Right, those downloads are finished. I'm going to pull you out.
Overclocking wears out the device, therefore I avoid overclocking. Yes and no. It depends on what kind of overclocking you're doing. There are certainly certain types of overclocking that are ragging the hardware, but also, for example, like in certain circumstances, you can be running higher clocks at lower volts, which are effectively reducing the strain on the device just because there's less power going through it. You know, like I've got my my graphics card at home. I actually have that undervolted in order to reduce the heat in there, and it actually holds higher average boost clocks because there's less heat in the card. So therefore, by tinkering around with the clocks, I'm getting more consistent speed with less strain on the device. It's a lot like getting your car's engine remapped. You know, the map on your car engine will be just a factory map. Getting it remapped can actually be healthy for the engine because someone has tuned it for specifically that engine, as opposed to just one map that works on all engines kind of thing. So yes and no. However, certainly if you're going into balls to the walls overclocking and you're looking for big numbers, yes, you're going to pump power into the device and you're probably going to rag it.
Yeah, like I was playing, I did a quick and dirty fixed overclock, fixed frequency overclock on my 2700X. And I just went 1.38 V core.
Yeah. Yeah. That's extra.
I got it up to 4.2 gigahertz. Yes.
Let's see. Yelanera says, I'm late. Are we at the point where you recompile more Partition Guru? No Partition Guru today. Nope. We have looked at a coffee machine, and both of them were no fault found, which I blame entirely on Caradog because he didn't test them hard enough, apparently. Anyway, we took one of them apart and we went, oh, look, that's what's inside a coffee machine. And then we put it back together again. So now we're chasing a weird overclocking issue with this motherboard, and we're currently downgrading it to a much older BIOS to see if the fault disappears. You'll want the 128 FS2, yeah. I think.
No.
Oh, yeah, FS0, fair enough. Please back up your BitLockers. Just Google this. For example, if memclock equals 3200 and fclock is anything else than 1600, the uclock in frequency will be memclock divided by 2. Which sort of, i.e. 800 megahertz, which sort of contradicts itself at the end. Yeah, that sounds a bit screwy there.
Yeah.
Someone's made a typo there.
But also, that's not the behavior I was seeing.
Yeah.
The behavior I was seeing was everything set to 1 to 1 to 1.
Yeah.
That's 1 to 1 to 1 actual clocks, not 1 to 1 to 1 mem clock, because obviously you can't, because it's DDR, because it's double the double.
Yeah, your memory indicated speed is always going to be double anyway because DDR.
Yeah. However, interestingly, it's apparently just going to allow me to flash version 0211 on 0606.
I think most enthusiast boards now just will allow you to go down in BIOS versions. I think it only seems to be a problem of the past now. I think modern boards will just let you downgrade your BIOS if you want to. Because I think they just sort of looked at it and they were like, there's no actual reason to stop you from downgrading your BIOS, it seems like.
Yeah. May I have the box of cider and the glass?
There is the box of cider.
Excellent.
And there is the glass.
Lovely.
I might have some in a minute after all, because I'm getting a bit bored of this Arctic coffee. Caradog is today drinking Henry Weston's medium dry organic, which is
rich and fruity with honey notes.
And also, incidentally, we've determined tastes exactly like Old Rosie, except slightly crisper because it's not cloudy. It tastes like Old Rosie if you filtered it. How much was the converter
Very
from
good,
110 to 240? I think I paid like 50 or 60 pounds for it. And however, when I look, oh, I forgot to link it in the video. Yeah, I should do that. Oh well.
Whoops.
Yeah, I paid about 50 or 60 quid for it. But when I had a look on Amazon while I was editing, there's now bigger versions of it, which are like £10 more for 1,000 watts instead of 500 watts. So I'm pretty certain that wasn't available at the time. Otherwise, I would have paid another £10 to have a kilowatt of capacity, just so I could be like, lol, this will run anything. But yeah, it was about 50 or 60 pounds, which is, yeah, that just seems to be the going rate. In a way, someone else pointed out that I should have gotten a Variac instead. And I didn't think of that. And I'm tempted to say I would get a Variac instead, because then you can do lots of things instead of just a fixed 110 to 240 and vice versa. But on the flip side as well, when you own a Variac, you've got a bit of equipment that can do very dangerous things. So it depends on what you actually want to achieve there.
I feel like one of those things is, if you know about a Variac, you will have bought the Variac.
That's
If you don't
true,
know
actually.
about the Variac, you will have bought the fixed sealed black box.
Yeah, if you don't know what a Variac is, then you shouldn't have a Variac. Yeah.
It's one of those things like, you know, the repairing of power supplies.
Mm.
It's a case of, if you're asking questions on how to repair power supplies, I'm
Yeah.
hoping the reason you're asking is because you already know how to build them.
Yeah.
And you're just wondering about common failures.
That's one of those esoteric things where it seems really unhelpful to say it, but also that's kind of the thing. When you're ready, you already know how to do it.
It's also one of those things where I'm like, I would not want to do my first one on my own, or my second.
Yeah.
Also, that RGB greatly concerned me, because I forgot that there was RGB on the side panel as well, and could just see glowing from the power supply.
An incandescent glow through the back of the power supply.
Like,
It's kind of like when there's a slight smudge on your glasses and you move your head just to the degree that it looks like smoke is coming off of something in front of you. And you're like, wait, what? Is the compressor going into retirement? I've left it set up and turned on. I have to admit, I have not been using it since I got the electric dusters, though. They're that good.
It's okay. One day you'll email Gast.
Maybe I will. Yeah. Maybe I will.
System will be reset. Excellent.
For that thing you just know smells like bang. I know exactly what you mean, despite the jankiness of the phrasing there. That is a smell that everyone knows, the smell of bang.
Yes!
Burning electronics, yes, there's a very distinct smell, and I panic if I vaguely think I can smell it. BIOS is updating LED firmware. Oh, that's a very important stage.
It's downgrading the LED firmware.
Yeah.
The only LEDs that I think are remotely useful are the ones that are in the back of the 3.5.
Yeah, those are kind of neat. Yeah. Yeah, there's the sound card on this thing. There's LEDs in the back of it, and they are illuminated for the color of the jack. So, like, you know, if you're fumbling around in the dark, you could move your finger until you see the green glow on the jack, and then you know you're plugging it into the center channel. But it's also one of those things where I'm just like, how much did that cost? You know,
probably not that much.
I don't know.
Also, it's an £800 motherboard.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like Halo motherboards. Yeah, no. I don't like this motherboard conceptually. I think it's I mean, I guess I could roll with something that's like £300 or £400. But like £800, man, come on.
Yeah.
You know. Because like £300, that's like X570S master territory kind of thing. And that board is really good, but not top end. It's just extremely good. So then £400 should get you something like that, but with some bells and whistles, because you want something that looks fancy kind of thing. You know, any more than that, and it's just like, my God. But then also it's just like, I remember a few years ago, like when I was like, oh, £300 motherboards are stupid, and that was the time when a Halo motherboard was like £400 or £500, and now you can spend £2,000 on a motherboard, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is ridiculous now.
But also the case of we've had 10% inflation.
Yeah, it's true. Right. So what are you going to dial in now? Are you going to dial in what should work or what you know will work?
Well, I'm just going to go 3800.
Yeah. 1800?
No.
Calc. 3800 divided by 2.
It's 1900. Yeah.
1900.
I was getting there.
We can maths.
Hold on.
We can maths.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go advanced, CVS, MBIO, XFR, accept the XFR, come back out of the XFR, change that to that. And because this is hopefully 1 to 1 to 1, right, 3800, 1900, yes. That will then work. And in theory, this should then all match.
Yeah. And yes, Yellow Nero, it is an 800 board. This is an Asus Republica Gamers Crosshair 8 or 7?
Crosshair 8 Extreme.
Crosshair 8 Extreme. And like it is a gorgeous motherboard, but there's just so many things about it which I think are just unnecessary and are just like, who is this? This motherboard has an identity crisis, basically, where it's just a matter of like, there are so many parts of this motherboard which are contradictory. It has extreme overclocking features like power on reset buttons and stuff, and like postcode readout. But then it's got
LN2
plastic
mode.
Yeah, LN2 mode. But it's got plastic covers over all of them that make them difficult to see and access. So the kind of people who actually want those features don't want plastic covers on everything, you know. So it's just like, who is this for? You know, it's it's a very this is the problem with this motherboard, is just it begs the question, who is this for? And the only conclusion that we can come to is it's for posers.
Kind of.
I feel like people who would buy this motherboard because of how pretty it is aren't the sort of people who would be using LN2 overclocking, you know. But then, are they going to make a different motherboard with a separate SKU specifically for overclocking? They wouldn't, would they? So that's kind of why it exists. Also, we know posting.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. I'll switch back to this scene while we fiddle around with the no post.
Which is what it should do when you set settings that don't work.
Oh,
it should no post.
Yes. Yep. That's fair. Yeah.
So it's a case of, at least from that perspective, I'm happy because it's...
If it can't do it, then it didn't post.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of overriding your settings, it just failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, when you're on manual mode, that is the desired behavior. This is people who watch tech YouTube and pretend they can OC with too much money. Yeah.
To a degree, but also it's a case of, from what I can see of it, it is designed to be a very capable overclocking board.
That's the thing.
So it's also a case of those who can OC will OC well on it.
And also, like, the other thing as well is that the reason we're very jaded with this motherboard because of the amount of hassle it's already caused. But also, once we get past this hassle and we've figured it out, I think, and also, like, if we can actually solve this issue with it today and get it to behave in the desired fashion, I think that will drastically change our perception of it, because, like, we're pissed off with this board because it's giving us problems. Once we get past those problems, suddenly we'll be like, oh, look at that. Now it's overclocking like the clappers, which is what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know?
I mean, the one thing that you did very much instantly see was the fact that the core frequencies were higher on this board, just straight out of the box.
Yeah.
So CPU core frequencies were higher, just straight out of the box.
That's a good sign, yeah. Yeah. Omni says Cinebench is a quick, simple way to test RAM stability. Yes and no. Cinebench is
Not
cool.
overly.
Yeah, Cinebench
It doesn't
is a
care about your RAM.
no. Cinebench is a confidence test. It's very quick to fire that off and see if the PC falls over. However, getting through Cinebench doesn't mean anything at all.
There you go.
We've done overclocks on this channel which have managed to get through Cinebench but couldn't get through Linpack, for example. Linpack is a reasonable stress test for memory, isn't it? Yeah. Or Linpack responds to memory.
Yeah,
speed.
it very much responds to memory tuning.
Yeah,
because
what is
certainly
your...
on DDR4, it is memory bandwidth starved, irrespective of how fast you get your RAM.
Yeah. What's your memory stress test of choice?
I use Linpack.
Yeah. Yeah. Because also, Omni said Ada is a better stress test as well. So yeah, and Ada 64. So that also works. The nice thing about Linpack is it's very quick to get it up and running, which is really what you want. Because when you're actually sitting and overclocking and stress testing, you want to be able to get in and out of the test as quickly as possible. Which in a way is one of the things I like about Cinebench, is it's relatively fast to get it up and running and do a pass.
The problem to a degree with Ada 64 is that it's purely synthetic. So you can have what will give you absolute garbage performance in like CPU Pi or Linpack or something, but you'll get a really good result out of Ada 64.
Ah, interesting.
And it's just kind of a case of like, yes, it's a benchmark onto itself, but oh yeah, didn't I find out this board by default gives you like 0.2 of a volt too little SoC voltage?
Oh yeah, I remember you saying something about the SoC being a little bit low.
I'll have to double check that, but yeah.
Yeah.
We have at least posted.
Yeah. Firefriend says, Graham, were you ever hosed with computer parts? What do you mean? Like, did I buy something and get completely ripped off or something? Random question: do I still have my JDM legacy? Any more Let's Fix Cars videos? Yeah, I do still have the legacy. It's got major rust problems at the moment, which makes me very sad. So it's very tentative. Its future is in the balance.
At the moment.
Yeah. However, I do want to get the rust sorted on it. But yeah, it's pending me actually going and seeing someone about it. And in terms of, more Let's Fix Cars videos, there's no plan for it as such. But I'm going to keep an open... If I get the rust sorted on it, there will be lots of minor things that I want to do with it. And I might knock out some extra videos on like this channel or something like that, where I'm just like, hey, I'm just doing stuff with my car. Because lots of those will involve, taking dash bits apart, replacing bulbs and stuff like that, which people might find interesting.
Seem to have sorted it.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Because they're all together and they're above.
So what's mem clock now? Is that 3800?
Mem clock, memory clock is 3666.
3666, yeah. Still, that's the speed that was not previously working and now is working.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have resolved the fault by dropping to an old BIOS.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm just going to change the Infinity Fabric clock to be out of sync to see if that changes it as well.
Yeah.
But we were certainly having problems with it being in sync at basically every setting.
Marcus says, if I should buy a Mobo after what I use PC for, I could be better off with an M80X or an ITX. Do you mean, should you go ATX, Micro ATX, or ITX? Well, I'm going to interpret that as what's a better motherboard size, per se. Ultimately, ATX will always give you the best choice of boards. Micro ATX, in my opinion, isn't worth it for general builds. Micro ATX is very good when you're building office boxes because you can build something that's just a bit more compact, and there are often some really good bang for buck Micro ATX cases and motherboards out there for cheap office builds. But if you want a decent gaming PC, there's not a lot of choice in the Micro ATX department. And if you just want something that's a bit more compact, there are some good cases out there, like, for example, the Corsair 220T, that are about the size of a micro ATX case, but take a full ATX motherboard. ITX is a world of two extremes. You've got meh and really expensive, but really good. There's not really much middle ground in the ITX world. You either go big or you go home. So if you really want small form factor, then ITX is what you should go for. However, ultimately, for the most people, I always recommend ATX because you have the most choice with ATX. So yeah, ITX is valid, but there will always be sacrifices when you're building ITX. You will have to compromise somewhere. There is no such thing as a compromise-free ITX build. No matter how much you spend, you will have to sacrifice something, or you won't be able to fit something, or it'll run hot, or it'll be big. Something will go wrong. Let's see.
That's not
oh yeah, and also following up Firephone's question about getting hose on parts. Yeah, rip off, not working, etc. I don't think so. Like, I've had stuff that's shown up as DOA and stuff like that, and you just send it back, no big deal. I don't think I've ever had something where I've actually felt like I've been robbed. Not unless I was aware of it in advance. Like, I've bought something which has been not very good, but I took a chance on it, and I knew I was taking a chance on it. So, when I bought something that was sold as, second hand or spares repairs, and it's shown up and been in poor condition, I've opened it and been like, well, it was sold as second hand. I don't, this is to be expected. So yeah, I've never bought something and actually felt like I've been misled. I mean, I guess one of the close things are, when I got my Pixel 6, this was sold as renewed, and it's got marks on it that to me just mark it as just second hand. This doesn't strike me as refurbished at all, but also it wasn't, it said it might have some marks on it and stuff like that. So I was just like, fine. They didn't say it would be pristine. So yeah. When all you hear is ITX, yeah. ITX can get damn expensive. It can, yeah. There is a secret tax in small form factor. Everyone's just like, oh, it's not that expensive, but your motherboard's £10 or £20 more. Your power supply's £10 or £20 more. Your case is, if it's not £10 or £20 more, you're paying £80 for what is essentially a square box of metal. And like you see some ITX cases that are like £100, and you're like, this is just a biscuit tin. There's not £100 worth of metal here, and stuff like that. So yeah, there's secret stuff there. Oh, box of iPhone displays. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the day I stopped repairing phones was when I bought a box of 10 iPhone 4S displays, and only 2 of them worked. But again, to a certain extent, buying Chinese parts off of eBay. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you get a refund on them from eBay?
I couldn't be bothered in the end. I just let it go. Because they weren't that. After the hassle, I was just like, no, I just dropped phone repair and just wrote off everything at that point. So yes, thank you, Spud. You got that one. You're already struggling with displays for a long time before then. Yeah, exactly that. It was a long time coming. A few years ago, you bought a B-grade motherboard off of OC UK as a dented box of bits. Yeah, B-grade is to be. It's expected that B-grade will have marks on it. However, it should be passable. It should be something that's usable. Whereas if it's just completely beat to hell, then it's a case of no. This is not something that should be sold. If nothing else, it should be sold as spares repairs kind of thing, or just second hand, or C grade. When something is marked, B grade is, this has got some marks on it, but it's still good. A grade is indistinguishable from new, and C grade is this thing has taken a beating, but it functions. You know, this is especially true when you're buying displays. Like if you buy secondhand display assemblies, something that is C grade, you're gonna know it's C grade. I bought a MacBook Pro display this week that was secondhand, and I was a bit annoyed because it showed up and it was like sticker bond all over, and the pictures didn't show any of that. And like I was able to do it, but it just meant that I had to spend half an hour painstakingly taking all the stickers off and cleaning all the sticky stuff off and all the rest of it. And I'm like, thanks guys, you didn't show that in the eBay listing. But S grade is out of the box. I've not seen anyone list something as S grade. That would be just brand new, I guess. So yeah. Right, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. In the meantime, where are you up to, Caradog?
I'm trying to work out where I am in the BIOS because the settings I was just looking at don't appear to be here, and I'm very confused now.
Well, I'm sure people.
There we go. I had somehow entered Tweaker's Paradise by accident, but swapping in the menu hadn't actually changed what I was looking at in the way I expected it to change what I was looking at. So it did me a confuse. How the yes. I'm now trying to get 3800 to post, which is strangely difficult given all the parts I have can do it. Oh yes, ranking systems with multiple S-graded items doesn't work. No, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, as far as my understanding of it goes, it's basically a case of S grade is the best of the A grades. The most closest to brand new. But yeah. What is up with this? Ba-da-da. Yeah. Nope. Okay. Weird. Yeah, it just won't post 3800.
Ah.
So kind of seem to have understood a thing, but yeah, 3800 won't post now. However, I am on basically the release BIOS. So I'm going to go up a version. And see what that does for me. Oops. Are you having a struggle?
I made a face at the camera and then realised that that we're on too small a picture for anyone to make out the face I'm making at the camera. Let's go back to this because it's a black screen. Okay. I don't know why YouTube isn't adding closed captions to the latest VOD. They're supposed to show up like within 20 minutes or so. The problem is every time every now and then I'll get a comment about closed captions, but every time I go to the video that's being complained about, the closed captions are there. So obviously I'm getting there too late. So unfortunately, as unhelpful as it is, the only thing I can suggest is come back later, which I know is just a complete non-answer, but also closed captions are completely out of my hands. There's nothing I can do. They are switched on. When they get processed, they get processed, and there's nothing else I can do about them, I'm afraid. Do I know I look like Shaggy in that show? Oh, I kind of do, don't I? Yeah. I am only using 10% of my power.
Very well.
Yeah. Everyone else is coming in with the same thing now. Yeah. Very well. All right. So, what version are we going to now? Just the next
0402.
And where is that in relation to the release?
It's
I take
a
it-
few on.
Yeah, I take it 0211 was the release version, or
It's the one. It was the one after release. Yeah.
Okay. Right. All right. So now another BIOS update going in. So we'll see what that does.
Yeah.
So when it wasn't booting 3800, is it worth trying? Like if it still won't boot 3800, is it worth trying to do 3800 with mem clock at a 2:1 ratio?
Yeah.
Just to see if it will.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, the board has posted and tested 4400.
Yeah.
Yeah, the board has booted and posted
Yeah.
4400.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Just figuring out.
Just with.
Yeah, just trying to work out where the holdup is at the moment. Like,
Yeah,
is it in
absolutely.
those dividers, or is it just arbitrarily not liking high-speed memory now, kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, 3800 isn't particularly fast to be an issue for this.
Yeah, not for this setup, no.
The difficulty is testing the memory controller itself specifically. Just because obviously if you set the memory controller differently to the Infinity Fabric, it gives you half speed.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
You seem to be very much struggling there.
Yeah, I have a UK keyboard, but I'm RDPing into a computer that's on an American keyboard. So things were the other way around. I was just like, oh, what? You know, very confused.
What is going on? Yeah, cause I think this version, yeah, because we were going from basically the one version after a release version to something that's, I think, reasonably middle of the pack, and then we jump from 04s to 08.
Yeah, fair enough. Might be worth actually making a list of which AGESA versions each one of these have, so we can identify specifically which one it is. I assume each BIOS version will be a different AGESA version, though, because usually an AGESA update is usually the reason why the BIOS update was issued in the first place.
Yeah.
Rich1880, thanks for the $2, my dude. Much appreciated. Let's see. Danielle Emberley says pros and cons of Samsung Magician over provisioning. In my opinion, a modern SSD should be of decent quality and performance that over provisioning isn't really necessary, or any more so than what the default is anyway. However, if you were setting up a mission critical system where reliability was absolutely paramount, at that point you might want to do some over provisioning because you want overkill levels of reliability. Because obviously, mission critical is another category of reliability where you are willing to make sacrifices for that last 1% or last 0.1% of reliability. For an average user, absolutely unnecessary in my opinion. A modern Samsung SSD, I would not expect it to need to be over provisioned. As I say, I think the only reason why it might be necessary is if you were trying to do some kind of ridiculous overkill setup. Can I beat a mod to it? I can. Owned.
Hacksaws.
Leaves extra room for wear leveling at the end of the drive's life. Yeah, basically that. However, obviously, with a modern SSD, you're expecting a 10-year lifespan out of it anyway. So, unless you're one of those people that's just like, oh, I should be able to use it forever, then fine, over provision it. I don't like. Once I've had 10 years service out of something, I think I've had my money's worth at that point, if I'm honest. Oh no. Chris says he was not able to ban that spam bot. He says, I was busy doing something that I will very much hate him for later. So yeah, horrible clips or GIFs are being created. I can't wait, Chris. I can't wait. Oh, that's an interesting point as well. Yeah, Liam in Wales says, I think it helps for people like a family member who will fill 100% of the SSD with junk and then complain about it being slow. Does over-provisioning actually protect you against that? Because
it reduces the drive's capacity.
Yeah.
So if it's a 512, it will become, a 400.
Will it use the over-provisioning to prevent slowdown when it's full, though? That's the question.
Well, because the drive won't be full.
I guess. I thought the over-provisioning was specifically for reallocating bad sectors.
Yeah, but also the drive isn't actually full.
Yeah, I suppose it. Yeah.
If you've over-provisioned, so there's only 400 usable gigs of a 500 gigabyte drive.
Yeah.
That's the same as only filling it up to 400
It will still use the extra 100. Yeah, it uses the extra 100 as wear leveling space. So yes, understood. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense actually. So yeah. If you trust the user not to fill it to 100%, then it's not necessary. But yeah, that's an interesting use case. If you're trying to set up a computer to be quote unquote bomb proof. Yeah, bomb proofing a computer, that would absolutely make sense.
This works entirely.
But again, with modern SSDs, like I feel like you shouldn't be fitting anything less than a 1 terabyte SSD these days.
Given you can pick them up for what, 80 quid for a good one?
Yeah, I mean, I fit 500 gigs to customer laptops to keep the cost of the repair down. But speaking from an enthusiast point of view, if you're building as an enthusiast or like obviously going for rock bottom builds to the customer, if that is not an issue, I feel like you shouldn't be fitting anything less than 1 terabyte SSDs. In which case, is cramming the SSD full really going to be an issue? Although again, if it's with, say, a family member who's going to install every game on the SSD, ignoring the hard drive, and then they fill up the SSD, that could still happen. So yeah. Danielle just replaced a 1-year-old ADATA XPG. Backup software would stall on a bad block that could be seen in the Windows Event Manager. Yeah, the ADATA XPGs seem to... It's hard to take a read on those because, like, even saying you've got specifically the XPG 8200 Pro, based on what I know about the ADATA XPG SSDs, it could have about 5 different controllers and brands of NAND flash on it. So there's like 5 or 6 different drives with the same model name, basically. So good. Yeah. Am I going to review the LTT screwdriver when it comes out? No, I'm interested in tools, and I feel like I can say a thing or two about tools, but I'm not interested in doing tool reviews because they take ages. In my opinion, you have to daily drive a tool for a couple of months, like 6 months or so, to really form an opinion about it. And the LTT screwdriver is not appropriate for my requirements. It's too big, basically. It's a PC builder's screwdriver, and I'm not a PC builder, is the short answer. I sometimes build PCs, but I wouldn't class myself as a builder.
Oh, good.
So yeah. And yeah, with the price tag of it, if they sent me a free one, sure, but I'm not willing to pay for one. I'm not going to say that LTT stuff is overpriced because they are luxury products. They can charge whatever the hell they want for them. And also, I do believe that they are high quality products. However, they're not something that I want to pay out for either. I'm not their target market. So yeah. GN's toolkit is a nice bit of kit. It's okay. Again, they're big handled screwdrivers. They're big boys like this screwdriver kind of thing. And for a PC builder, these are great, but I fix laptops. And this is too big, man. So yeah, not a lot of use to me. I want wearer craft form are my weapon of choice. So yeah. And what do I think of Lenovo Legion? I like the design of the Legions, actually. I don't know how good they are quality-wise, because I haven't really seen enough of them. But I do think the Legions are nicely designed laptops. Although the first thing you should do is obviously reinstall it to get rid of all of the Lenovo software, because that's all rubbish.
I mean, that's the comment on literally every pre-built, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but there
It's
are
not
people
a
who
Lenovo
No, Lenovo, yeah.
Lenovo
Yeah.
specific. That's
But
just everyone.
They
comment.
are probably the worst offender, though.
Sure, absolutely,
You know,
but
as opposed to Dell, where Dell are not too bad, to be honest. There is junk on there, and
I mean, they still
really...
force you to have McAfee installed.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
And
I guess. But like the OEM software for, like, drivers and power management and stuff like that, the Dell stuff is not particularly helpful, but it's fine. Whereas the Lenovo stuff, I would actually wager, is actively harmful to the performance of the computer. I've had numerous Lenovo laptops that have had issues with power management or wireless that have been solved by removing all of the Lenovo software. I've seen that on multiple occasions. Whereas Dell, I've never seen it causing a problem. You can certainly remove it, and you've lowered the footprint on the computer so it goes a bit faster, but it's not been actively detrimental in the way that Lenovo software would be. So yeah. LTT stuff is fashion accessories. Yes, but also, like, credit where it's due, LTT products are very high quality. That's why I give them a pass, because they are actually very high quality stuff. Whether or not it's good value for money is always up to you, but it's not junk. So if it's not something that you appreciate, then it's not for you. However, you can't say that they're selling junk, because they're not. That much is true. Why don't I test drive a Lenovo Legion for 6 months? If they want to send me a free one for evaluation, they're more than welcome to. But I don't want to buy a Lenovo. Also, my microphone is sagging. I've got a saggy mic.
Sounds like a personal problem.
There we go. You're still running a 128 gig OCZ. I'd make sure that's backed up. Yeah.
But also, as we were chatting, is the conversation in gaming on the Discord was going recently about, just GTA 5. That's 105 gig download.
Yeah.
So you couldn't fit that plus Windows on 128 gig SSD.
No. Yeah. 128 gig is, it is usable as a boot drive, but yeah.
I've got 228 gig SSDs because they're machines that need to run maybe 100 megabyte program installs, and that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the hard drive rig behind us, the big Lianli, that's got 128 gig SSD in it, and so is the graphics card testing rig, because those are recycled, because I pull them out of customer computers who need more space. 128 gig SSDs, we're actually going to see a flurry of them kicking around, where people have pulled them out of laptops that need more storage.
Maybe, yeah.
So yeah. As GM mentioned in their latest hardware wrap-up, warranties need to be spelt up. I had a suspicion this might pop up. Yeah, I have not watched the latest WAN show where this actually cropped up, but the TLDR is that it seems that Linus spoke giving the impression that there is no warranty on the LTT backup, just a gentleman's agreement, where if there's a problem with it, they'll take care of you, but there's no actual legal warranty. Now, LTT, they have consistently said, oh yeah, we routinely replace stuff that is problematic without question, because we want to give a good customer service. So I believe Linus when he says that they'll look after people. However, I 100% agree with Gamers Nexus that it's not acceptable to just have no warranty. there needs to be a warranty. They need to actually spell it out what that entails. If he wants to do a limited warranty, then that's fine. However, Linus Media Group is big enough that they can have a lawyer look over a legal warranty and actually spell that out. I 100% agree with Gamers Nexus on this. As much as I will defend the LTT store, they need to have a real warranty. What's going on here?
Would you like to set your clock speeds in hex?
Yeah, I was going to say
the hexadecimal clock.
That's yeah. I absolutely set my clock to or perhaps or perhaps yeah. Yeah, Linus has definitely. I agree that he got stuck on the defensive, which I know is how this is right. But he absolutely needs to turn around and be like, okay, look, I misspoke on this one. We're actually going to spell out a real warranty on this. I got defensive because it was just something that we hadn't done. We will get that sorted. That's what I think he needs to do. He needs to take the L on that one. So yeah.
What the hell was I running? Bollocks.
Wancho was the most beat down you've seen in ages. They put the warranty up. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There was no way they were going to be able to stand on that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes.
Well, how? UK minimum is 1 year by law for tech. It's only 24 months for distant selling. So if you buy it off the internet, but if you walk into a high street shop and buy a laptop, they're only obligated to give a 1 year warranty. 9 times out of 10, there'll actually be a bigger warranty available from the OEM, but the shop is only obligated to warranty it for 1 year.
Oh, it's right there. It's the one called timing control.
So yes. Okay, right. So having gone over that, let's switch back to this. Where are we up to? What are you up to at the moment? Are you overclocking, or are you just trying some different settings? What works and what doesn't work? Where are we up to?
Certainly on this board, and I can't speak to if I had simply missed it. Setting U clock and F clock to not be 1-to-1 means that mem clock will be in divide by 2. End story.
Fair enough.
I didn't know that was a thing, which infers that that's not how it worked on my board.
Yeah. It's also interesting because this isn't a problem that we seem to run into on the other boards that we were testing. Yeah. So if that's the way it's supposed to work, that's not the way it always works.
Yeah.
I seem to remember I mentioned the night that we were fighting this, I actually remember specifically saying that I had a suspicion that this board was enforcing some kind of obnoxiously strict rule set that seemed to be very esoteric and not very clearly documented. And it sounds like that's exactly what it was in the end.
Possibly, yeah. So we're running at 3733.
Yeah.
With F clock and U clock at 1-to-1 with mem clock.
Cool.
Which is higher than the 3600 it was doing.
Yeah, so we're achieving the higher speeds that we could previously not achieve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so is the BIOS version actually helping, or have you just found a better understanding of the issue?
I don't know, but yeah. I have changed the BIOS version, and now it's doing this as well.
Progress.
Yeah, so yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so I basically just set some slightly tighter timings than it autoed.
Yeah.
Just because I was going to do another Limpack run and just make sure that the numbers were about where I expected them to be.
Yeah, so if we get a clean run, what might be interesting now is to take it back up to latest and see if it all falls over or whether you can still achieve this on the latest BIOS. Because that proves whether this issue is BIOS related or not, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay then. What voltage are we pushing into the RAM to achieve that?
1.45.
That sounds quite high.
I wouldn't be overly concerned until about 1.7.
Really?
Yeah, not on B-die. Certainly not for B-die.
Okay, yeah, this is sounds on B-die, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like if you had CDR, Micron CDR or CJR, I can't remember which one of those it is. That basically just falls apart at like 1.3 volts.
Oh, wow.
1.35 volts. And it's not a case of it stops working with higher voltages.
Mm.
You can run the higher voltages, but you get zero clock scaling.
Okay,
it doesn't scale with voltage.
It just doesn't respond to it,
yeah. Yeah, and just stuff like that.
Yeah, whereas with B-die, you put more volts in and it goes faster.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a case that, you know, some of the runs on B-die will be putting like 2.1 volts into it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Blimey.
But like you'll have active cooling on that.
Yeah.
And you'll probably have your maximum set to like 2 gigabytes.
Mm.
Because that's the issue you'll start noticing. That's when you know you're at a too high voltage.
Yeah.
Too high voltage is basically to gain stability, you need to start reducing your maximum.
Yeah.
Which is oh, I've just forgotten what it's called. What's the thing where you can choose what starts on startup? You know, you can disable the Microsoft services and the startup things.
Oh, auto runs or
that, but you know the little pop-up thing you can.
Oh, MS config.
Yeah. It's in MS config.
Yeah.
You can set the maximum somewhere.
Could you set display scaling again, just so people can see what's going on?
Yes, in 2 seconds. I'm just trying to remember where you set.
Oh, boot and advanced options. I think I know what you're looking for now.
And then you can, yeah, there we go. Whoops. And then you just set the max memory in there.
Ah, yes, I see. Yeah.
And that will bring back stability when you're at high voltages on B-die.
I see. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Chris says for good DDR4 RAM overclocks, 1.5 can be standard for rated XMP profiles.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy.
1.45 is the XMP profile.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, 1.4. Oh, yeah. You're right. I think I would just. Yeah, I was just thinking like 1.3 and 1.35 were the norms. But yeah, no, I've seen them at 1.45. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ignore me.
Don't forget, this is also a RAM kit that's expecting a mem clock of 2,200, whereas most 1.35 kits will be expecting a mem clock of 1,600.
Yeah, that's true.
We're talking nearly a gigahertz faster.
This is actually a bonkers memory kit that is capable of big numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's cheap.
Yeah, for reference, this is Patriot Viper.
Patriot Viper Steels.
Yeah,
the 4400 C19 kits.
Yeah,
they're guaranteed B-die bins.
Yeah, because there's nothing else that could achieve those specs.
Yeah, with the TRF timings that these have. I think it's the TRF timing that makes it B-die. Yeah.
Very well.
If we do a comparison, right, so that was 56.5, 56.6, 56.5, and then this was 55.4, 55.7, 55.6. So
it's consistently slightly faster.
Around a second faster. And the change was I changed my CAS from 20 to 18.
Yeah.
Hold on, where is hardware? And I'll just show you. I changed CAS, TRCD, TRP, TRAS, and TRC. No, I didn't change TRC. I just changed these 4 to being, instead of being 20 to 18, instead of being 19 to 18, instead of being 19 to 18, instead of being 42 to 36.
Yeah.
And that saved about a second on a Limpack run.
Fair enough. I know,
which shows how obviously timing sensitive it can be.
Yeah. I know Buildzoy recently has been banging on about how primary timings don't matter. Is that just for DDR5?
No, it is very much a statement of they don't matter.
Yeah.
because the way that the timing tree builds up. But it's a case of, just as a very dirty demonstration of the fact of making your timing tree tighter gives you performance.
It will add up if you change lots of things. So it's more of
a case of setting the secondaries and tertiaries to be faster. Will give you more benefit, arguably, than tighter primaries with way looser secondaries and tertiaries.
Yeah, because a lot of people are just focusing on the TCAS, aren't they? It's just that headline number. Like, for example, 4400 CL19 kind of thing. They're going, oh, the 19, that's the bit that matters. That, just that number alone is irrelevant if the other timings are junk kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And just changing that number on its own isn't going to change your world.
Yeah.
However, by shaving microseconds off of each number, you're adding up to a big time save. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's very easy for you to have an 1818-1836 set of timings where you've then tuned the secondaries and tertiaries and get dramatically more performance.
Yeah. Very well.
But yeah, it was just a case of, because I haven't actually sat down and memorized a secondary timing set for this that works at 3800.
Yeah.
I didn't bash it in.
Yeah, because I mean, you haven't done any serious tuning with this platform because the damn thing hasn't been working. So yeah.
But it's also just a case of, it's very annoying is the fact that for some reason this is only doing 3732.
Yeah.
Or 3733.
Yeah. That's probably something that you could work out by sitting down for a tuning session, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of a case of, like, I'm tuning to get 3800. Or
which again is
I get my X570S Master and I'm doing a tuning session to get 4100.
Yeah, I was going to say, because again, we're still under 4000. These shouldn't be, like, it shouldn't be difficult to reach 4000 on top-end hardware like this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The only thing I can guess to save the motherboard's face, if that makes sense, is that the IMC in that 5950X is absolute potato.
Yeah.
By comparison to the other ones I've seen.
Yeah. So again, at some point, it might be worth
because also, this is only running 2 sticks, and I've run 4000 on 4 sticks.
Yeah.
And 4 sticks of B-die is hard work for IMC.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's probably worth dropping a different CPU in this at some point to sanity check whether it's a CPU restriction or not then.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, we are more or less out of time. So I vote we spend the last 10 minutes, because we're coming up to the 3-hour marker. I vote, however, you have advanced a bit in a sense of we're now starting to get usable numbers instead of a 2-to-1 ratio, which is unusable.
So, certainly when you're number chasing on stuff, it's anywhere close to memory throughput sensitive. Yeah. Because, like, if you were super timing sensitive, it wouldn't matter as much, because, like, you could probably stick in crazy tight timings on that by comparison.
To make the time back,
to a degree, where it was a latency issue. But obviously, because you've got such a clock speed difference, your latency for each thing would need to be half. So instead of being at 18, I'd need to be at 9.
Oof, yeah.
I'd need to run 3800 CL 9.
And it's a case of that means you're having to put in a huge amount of work to make up that loss. Or you could just run 1-to-1 and not have to do that work.
Yeah. So it's kind of a case
or have both.
Yeah. The only place that would start to make sense is if you had a memory kit that could do like 5,000 plus.
Yeah.
5,200 plus, that sort of region. Then the 2-to-1 starts making sense again.
Yeah. Teltac, how dare. Teltac says lots of tiny adjustments will help, but a tool to spread the coffee grind will never help. Go away, Teltac. Don't you have an AWS server to fix or something?
Oh, don't forget though, he's serverless.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Server, whatever. Go and disparaging remark about your profession. Fam who uses a server, yeah. All right. Anyway, Omni says the thing is RAM, as you up the voltage to speed up the RAM, the same voltage is pushed into the memory controller. Yeah, so again, it depends on what the memory controller wants to handle.
Kind of. Yeah, absolutely it is, but also only kind of to a degree, because it's effectively the signaling voltage.
Yeah.
on it. So
It's not actually doing legwork.
it's absolutely a concern.
Yeah.
Because you will absolutely degrade your IMC if you're shoving 2 volts into it.
Yeah.
Via the DRAM voltage, but like putting 1.5 in.
Yeah.
It's not a particular concern.
Yeah.
Again, in my opinion, based off of all of the testing and stuff that I've seen, but the only way you're going to get real, actual hard data is by having 10,000 of this motherboard, 10,000 5950Xs, 10,000 of those RAM kits, all of them set to exactly the same settings, and all of them operating at like 99C for 2 years, and then see what happens. But it's
very difficult to get empirical data on it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of, but obviously you can infer.
Yes.
Vast quantities of information.
Okay, so as previously mentioned then, should we knock this up to the latest BIOS and see if all of these settings completely fall over?
Sure, yeah, can do.
Yeah, just because again, that would give a final confirmation as to whether this was a BIOS issue or not, wouldn't it? Because that was the original question: is this related to AGESA revisions, or is this just learning the board?
Thank you.
Because if we take this up to the latest BIOS again, and suddenly you can't get those settings, that confirms that different AGESA versions are having an impact over what you can do on this board.
Yeah.
Which I think, that is something that's worth knowing, because if we don't actually establish that, that's going to constantly be in question moving forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next episode, can Graham fix Man U? I don't know. I don't know my footballs, I'm afraid.
My footballs?
No, I don't do the sports.
Oh, interesting. The maximum individual core frequency we've seen. Oh no, there we go.
$5,000, mate.
Yeah. Interesting that the best 2 performing ones are together on the same CCD. So this CCD must be a reasonably good one. Although that's a 6.7. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because how funny. It just happens to have 2 very good cores in it. And the next one is fine. The other cores have middle siblings syndrome.
Can Graham fix my mental state? Unlikely.
Oof.
Okay, that was a disparagement against myself. I realised that came out entirely wrong then. My apologies.
Fuck me, not even I can fix that one. Would you like a shovel down there?
Look, I was disparaging myself.
Yes.
I was unable to sweat at the time.
I'm not sure that's an association you want. Oops.
It's always a joke that I'll find funny, though. Because, my God, what was it? Anyway. All right. Easy Flash, go. Just here for our weekly cope sessions. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I always appreciate everyone who comes along. If people enjoy coming to these sessions just to hang... If people enjoy these sessions just to come and hang out, then we're doing something right, as far as I'm concerned.
Also, I need to stand up now. My foot's gone to sleep.
Ah. Understandable.
Yes. Also for that.
Very well.
Ha! Screw you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to buy another fan. I didn't buy a fan in the previous heatwave because I didn't want to pay the hecking price gouging. And then the heatwave went. I was like, all right, that's fine. We're done for the year. And now another heatwave has come in. And once again, I don't want to buy a fan because the prices will be sky high this week. And I'm like, so basically, I've just gone through 2 heatwaves without a fan, except for the computer fans that I've zip tied together here, just so you wouldn't perish today.
What you need to do is buy one off of AliExpress, because then it will arrive just in time for the next one.
Well, if I buy a fan on Amazon Prime, so it arrives the next working day, the heat wave is guaranteed to end. I can end this heat wave anytime I choose by buying a fan, because you know it's going to end the moment I buy a fan. That's how this works.
I was surprised. I was having a ganders, as you may have seen that I said, at the portable air conditioning units.
Yeah.
And you can buy like 9,000 BTU ones for like 200 and something pounds. And I was just like, that's not bad.
Can they do heating as well, or is that just? Yeah.
I have no idea. But like, just the statement of like 9,000 BTU, that's not terrible. It's like a small wall-mounted unit for like a proper install.
Yeah.
Is 27,000.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's about a third.
Yeah.
So it's about a third of a small unit, and a small unit is expected to run 3 heads. So it's a case of it's effectively that portable unit is a single head.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of that's quite reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah, I am tempted by one of those.
The problem I have with them is the fact that they're like 12% efficient or something.
Yeah, the main issue is that like I would want to put it in like this room in the workshop, and there's just no way of me to duct it out without doing some serious ducting work, which is just the bummer. So I'd have to figure that out. Like I've got ideas on how I would approach that issue, but it's a large undertaking. Is the problem?
What you need is a 24-inch industrial fan that does 2,500 RPM.
Yeah, or failing that, you know, I could stick it.
Just
it
a
in the
power
kitchen.
glider, petrol.
Yeah. Failing that, I could put an air conditioner in the kitchen where it's extremely easy to duct it out, and then just have a fan sitting in that doorway blowing the cold air into the rest of the shop. You know, because obviously the kitchen.
Given the shop doesn't actually heat up that much.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. You're not actually fighting that much.
The main enemy in here is a lack of airflow. To be honest, I probably could survive without an air conditioner. I just need a fan for airflow. So yeah, I need to just buy another big. I think what I need is just 2 pedestal fans. You know, just a pedestal one, and just put one in each corner of each room, just blowing air around. That would actually solve my problem. I'm just too stubborn.
You see, I like my option.
Yeah.
It does make me not want to leave home, though.
Yes. That's the problem. Yeah, you have a big dilemma in that you want to break free and move, but at the same time you've got a really sweet gig at the moment, and it's just like, oh, that's a really tough choice. Yeah, currently in, you know, nice house, cool basement with air conditioning and all the rest of it. Also, I want to leave home, you know. That's a tough one. Also, you have angered Chris with your air conditioning noises. Are you trying to oscillate the fan?
No, I was trying to work it up slightly.
Okay.
Okay. And then this is gonna restart, and it's gonna update the LED firmware.
Yeah. Yeah. Still, I think we started like 10 or 15 minutes early. So although the counter's gone over to 308, we're doing all right. However, yeah, we'll do this, and then we're going to wrap up because I've got to stop going over the 3 hour marker. I think the past 2 ones we've done have been like 3.5, knocking on 4 hours, and yeah. James says he makes coffee on a stovetop percolator.
I thought you said he makes coffee with a stir fry. I was like, that's an interesting.
Just put coffee grounds and water into a wok, and then just pours the whole lot into a thing, you know. Yeah, I use a cafetiere. I like cafetieres. I think they're reasonably convenient. So yeah. Next episode,
updating LED firmware.
Hey. In the past 10 podcasts, only one was under 3 hours. Yeah. Although a lot of them were probably only just over 3 hours. And like by the 3 hour marker, my brain was probably mush and everyone could just tune out anyway. So Hmm. Mocha gang. Yeah.
Who are we mocking?
Teltac make a mocha pot, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, my brother-in-law uses a mocha pot. I own one. I've never actually made coffee in it. They do make good coffee. Yeah, as I say, my brother-in-law has made me one from a stovetop mocha pot before, and I was just like, oh, that's good coffee. It's very smooth coffee. So yeah, BIOS is updating again.
The BIOS is updating the BIOS.
It's probably ME or something like that, or EC.
Or some
Nescafe
other.
in a kettle. Oh no.
Wait, if you put the Nescafe into the kettle.
Oh no. Oh no. God. Imagine if you wanted. No, we're not having this conversation. We're not
noodles? What noodles? And you just took the instant noodles out of the package, stuffed them in your kettle, and then poured cold water on them.
And just added in the Nescafe because you're going to drink that at the same time anyway. So why the hell not? And you've lost control of your life.
I don't know. That sounds very efficient.
And also, you're probably Teltac when he was in university.
I was going to say that sounds very efficient and like Chris's daily life. Scotland jibes.
Meanwhile, Chris is just like, and this is why we want an independent referendum.
An independent referendum, as opposed to one of those collusionary referendums.
Oof. Excuse you, I just ordered too many takeaways instead. Yeah.
True.
It's true. Teltac was really good at mocking me for my lack of home cooking while he orders the third takeaway of the third day of the week.
Yes.
Nescafe is £7 a jar now. Oh yeah. That's the thing, you know, just like
No, stop it.
If you're actually like in terms of instant coffee, store brand instant coffee is trash. Nescafe, like if you get Nescafe Gold Blend or something like that, it is, as far as instant coffee goes, not atrocious, but you have to be ordering it in bulk for it to actually be good value for money. Otherwise, like fresh ground coffee is very competitively priced. The only difference is just you're going to have to clean something, whether you're cleaning your pour over, your AeroPress, your cafetiere, your machine, whatever. You're going to have to clean something. But
I bought 6 kilos of coffee beans.
Yeah.
For £110.
Yeah.
It was that big white tub.
Mm. Yeah, apparently all Americans scorn instant coffee, which surprised me. But then on the flip side, because they don't have kettles either, instant coffee wouldn't be an immediate go-to for them, would it?
It wouldn't be instant.
No, yeah. Whereas in the UK, because everyone's got a kettle, instant coffee is actually incredibly convenient.
Oh, you are going to post. Okay.
All right.
I was just going to stare at it, just like...
Yeah.
If this works, I'm going to be so annoyed.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't.
Yeah. If this works, then we have proven nothing. I mean, you'll have a slightly better understanding of the platform, but we wouldn't have actually established anything. So
but these are all the settings I was running previously when it wasn't doing what it should have done.
Yeah.
I don't want you. Yeah. So that's fine. Scroll. And that's fine. Yeah, no, because it's working fine now, but it wasn't previously.
However, what if you reset to defaults and try and dial in those settings again? Because it might be doing those just because those were the previous settings there. Because when you do a BIOS update, it's not going to overwrite your settings necessarily.
Right, but I did just have to set what settings I wanted.
Oh, did you just dial in the settings? Yeah. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
weird.
Annoying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was definitely something funky with 2 of the BIOS versions that we were using, where certain XFR settings just weren't applying unless you changed which options you were on randomly.
Yeah. Yeah. Part of me is still tempted to suggest that we is this a dual BIOS board?
I don't know.
Yeah. If this
Probably.
is a dual BIOS board, I'm still very tempted to say that we pull off one of the motherboard chips and just reprogram it with a clean BIOS, just to nuke from orbit, just to make sure there's nothing fucky going on with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah,
definitely weird stuff.
that's going to be a job for another day. But you know,
yeah.
Oh well. Okay. Well, that was yeah, fair enough. Well, we haven't really established anything, but again, we're slowly making progress toward. Yeah, it's weird. It shouldn't take this amount of work to get the board into this state.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating thing about all of this. It's working as intended, but it has taken an obnoxious amount of effort to do what we're doing here. As I say, like when we were fighting it the other week, we spent all night trying to get those settings to work.
Yeah.
Or rather, Caradog spent all night trying to get those settings to work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then it still can't post 3800.
Yeah. What timings were you putting in? 18 or 19?
20, 19, 19,
Oh yeah, so
40.
yeah, not even any kind of challenging timing.
Well, yeah, but certainly because obviously it's just the 4400 timings at.
And that's it. You can bet your ass that if we put this CPU and that memory kit into that motherboard, it's going to do that first time. That's the frustrating part about this. If we put this in the Strix, it'll do it first time, and that's just a basic mid-range motherboard.
Yeah, I don't get
that. That's why this is frustrating. Is we're sort of sitting here trying to achieve, you know, we're just trying to get out of the middle. Like the 3000, between 3000 and 4000 is mid-range memory timings.
I mean, 4000's pretty hot.
Yeah, well, once you hit 4000, you know, 3800 is okay. You're getting into the upper end.
3800 is
4000 and up. That's when you're getting into extreme memory speed territory.
Yeah,
you know, but again, this is an £800 motherboard.
Yeah,
you know, this is not a well, again, unless the 5950 is just a crap one. But then again, I'll bet money that if we put this in that Strix, it'll do it first time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although, did we test that?
Not like 3800 or anything, but like 3700, 3600. Yeah, it did fine.
Yeah. How curious are we to put that to the test now, just to find out if we're still, you know?
No.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because it's still more a case of just the point that this can't do 3800.
Yeah, it doesn't solve our problem, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, why won't this motherboard go quick when it absolutely should? Very well. Okay. JD looks at his 3800, 15, 15, 15, 33. Well, I mean, 3800 at 15, 15, 15, 33, that's reasonably tight, isn't it?
Is that running on AMD?
Yeah, what platform is that,
also,
because 15 sounds really aggressive.
Yeah, you'd have to have disabled gear down mode for it to actually be 15, 15, 15, 32. 32? 33. Yeah. But it's also not the case of it's not the fact that 3800 isn't high end. It's the fact that 3800 shouldn't be high end for this board.
Yeah, yeah.
It's specifically in the context of this £800 overclocking motherboard.
Yeah. This bench is being built for extreme overclocking. So I mean, we are looking for big numbers. Yeah. Like in home compute, typical gaming rigs,
3600, 16, 16, 16, 34-ish would be fine completely and good. Adequate. And I wouldn't expect anyone who isn't willing to fiddle with it to get anything faster than that.
I'm just sort of...
Hell, I'd expect 3600, 18, what, 18... What, 19, 18, 18, 18... No, 19, 18, 18, 46? I think that's a bit. You know, I'd expect something like that.
Yeah. As I said, we're nearly rubbishing these numbers just because this this platform should be able to achieve significantly higher.
Because, like, if I do that, the thing is, though, it might be the memory controller.
Yeah.
Just because if I do that, that should post.
We're on VGA Lite at the moment. And boot.
Yeah, there you go. That's just booted, which suggests it's the IMC.
Yeah. What are you booting at?
4,000. There you go. 4,000, but in 112.
Okay. Yeah.
So 4,000 in 112 works absolutely fine. So again, it's a case of it's not the RAM.
Yeah.
I can't remember if this posted last time. So it's a case of, we've proven it's not the RAM,
But
and
again,
at the very least, the motherboard to the CPU can do that bit.
But because we're now ratioed, that's going to murderize the performance, so there's no point in being at that speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to end up going slower.
Yeah, just weird.
Yeah. Sleepwalker says, "Does see the Tech Yes video, Tech Yes City video about new branded builds from the CFO of Artisan." Oh, the CFO. That was the guy who was the good guy, not
he was trying to save the mass.
Yes,
wasn't
I don't watch Tech Yes City. However, I had heard that they had gone and started a new company. They don't have a lot of options yet, but they've just started out, so they're keeping it low key, which is good. They're not trying to overstretch by doing more than they can handle. I wish them the best of the luck. I hope it sounds like the guy is probably capable of running a good system integrator, a good artisan. Well, not artisan, that's the wrong word. It sounds like the guy knows how to do a boutique computer building company, and I wish him the best of luck, because it seems like he's actually got his heart is actually in it, instead of the CEO guy who just seemed like he wanted to be a rock star.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. If you see here, obviously this is a complete mash of ratios.
Shut up.
But memory clock.
2200 to give 4400.
Yeah, exactly. Which is high. That's high.
Yeah. So now we're getting into very high speed.
But
mega
F clock 18.
Yeah.
1800, and then obviously memory controller 1100 because it's half of that.
Yeah.
So it's a case that with these
settings,
settings,
if you run the Lin pack, you're probably not going to be going any faster than you were before.
Yeah, that would be interesting to actually prove.
Yeah, sure. Let's run it as just a last thing, just to demonstrate that now we're at 4400, but ratioed, we are either at the same speed or maybe even going. I mean, if it comes in lower, then that would be insane. That with another 600 megahertz on the final clock, or sorry, at another 600 mega transfers per second, we have lost speed because we're ratioed.
Well, yeah, because the memory controller is 600 megahertz slower.
Yeah.
600?
Well, more than that. But I was going. The last time we were,
is 766.
Yeah,
it's 766 megahertz slower.
However, the memory is at 4400 as opposed to 3800.
As opposed to 37, 33.
Whatever.
Yeah. So that differential on the RAM side, on the actual mem clock, probably won't overcome the U clock difference.
Yeah, that's fair. Price of the builds to what you're getting is pretty poor. Yeah, maybe.
But also depends on what you're getting. Because if you're getting anything that involves any sort of custom water cooling,
I was about to
instantly say, that I would, if someone came to me and said, "Oh, I want you to build this custom water cooling machine for me," I would be looking for a minimum of a 25% margin.
Yeah, I was going to say Linus and Luke on WAN Show did a really good breakdown. You know when who was that boutique builder that got in hot water for the ridiculously overpriced computers recently?
I don't know.
There was some ridiculously overpriced boutique PC builder, and everyone was mocking them because of how overpriced the computers were. And WAN Show did a breakdown. They looked at some of their products, and some of the computers, they were just like, that's not really up to date, but that looks like that's just an out of date machine, and they just hadn't updated the price on that. And the follow-up to that was when the company responded to that, they said, "Oh yeah, no, that price needs updating. We're updating that price." However, all of the really expensive exotic stuff that was like $5,000 and stuff like that was like hardline water tubing, hardline water cooling, and stuff like that. And it was like, yeah, if you want hardline water cooling, that's $1,000 in parts.
Yeah.
Not labor, parts.
Yeah.
You know, so $5,000 for a computer with hardline water cooling. Well, yeah, that's, you know what, £1,200 of that is just for the water cooling system, which is going to be what, 800 parts. Plus, they're going to want 400 in labor because it's going to take someone all day to do that. You know, do it properly anyway, in something that could be warranted and make money.
Oh God, yeah. The fact of obviously you'll have to warranty that work as well.
Yeah.
So you'll want
Overkill PC. That was it. Yeah.
You'll want 2 days of labor on that. 1 day is profit, 1 day is warranty work.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
That's it. So like when Overkill PC, where everyone was roasting them, you know, Wansha, I do agree with Linus and Luke on that one. They looked and they were like, honestly, that price seems fair. Like whether you're willing to pay it or not is another question. And whether or not you think you could do it cheaper is also another question, because it's very easy. Like if I said I was building a gaming PC for $1,000 and someone turned around and said, well, I could do that for £800. And I'm like, well, yeah, but also I'm in business to make money. I need to have a profit margin on that. Of course you could go and buy the parts cheaper. Of course you can, because you're not paying my labor, you know.
Yeah, you're not paying for someone else to build it for you.
And recently there's been quite a few system builders where everyone has been accusing them of high prices and going, well, look, I spec'd up the price and the parts cost is actually this. And it's like, yeah, they're a business. They're in business to make money. Of course it costs more than the parts cost.
Yeah, now, the only one I found egregious was, I can't remember who it was, but it was like nearly double the parts cost.
Yeah.
For basic, like, here's an air cooler.
Yeah.
Here's an off-the-shelf boring GPU.
Absolutely.
Here's a boring case.
There's definitely going to be some examples that people can point out where something is objectively overpriced or poor value for money. There's not a doubt in my mind there. However, I think when we have to be very careful about what we look at, and I think some of the videos that have come out against some of the companies recently have been disingenuous, where they've not been wrong, but they've definitely been laying it on thick. I think in, you know, where they've really needlessly needled them for having one particularly egregious product, where other products were like, that's not awful if I'm honest, you know. And also it's just the fact of exclusivity. You know, some people will charge, you know, some people will charge a lot for something just because it's got a logo on it, and that doesn't make it good bang for buck. But some people just want that flex. You know?
And it's also kind of a case of, certainly as a supplier, if you are in a position to do so, to be able to price yourself to exclusivity, you make yourself wanted and an exclusive must-have by being expensive and nothing more.
Yeah. Tech Yes looked at the 4 flavors of PC builds, and for CPU, RAM, and motherboard, he could get a better deal for $400 on each build. What does that mean? Does that mean he found a different company that would do it for $400, or he spec'd it up on PC Part Picker and got $400 less? Because again, if he spec'd it up on PC Part Picker, they're in business to make money. If they're making $400 on a build for a boutique PC, that's not atrocious, you know.
Also a case of the fact of the price of parts, for example, isn't going to include the cost of shipping a PC, and the cost of shipping a PC is dramatically higher than the cost of shipping the components.
Now, admittedly,
because the PC as a whole is much heavier and much more fragile. You need more expensive packing, you need far more sturdy boxing, and also just the actual cost of the shipping is higher.
Now, you know, again, to be honest, we'd have to watch the video and do a breakdown to actually do this conversation. I have not watched the video. If I watch the video, I might get a different understanding and be like, oh yeah, no kidding, that's really overpriced. You should definitely not buy a computer from these people. So I am speaking having not watched the video, which means my opinion is extremely one-sided here. However, I think it's just worth saying these things because otherwise people will often just see the headline and run away with it. basically. So yeah,
Yeah,
he'd spec on
absolutely.
PC Part Picker. Yeah, he did find 2 of the 4 cheaper built with a different company. Yeah, so it sounds like it's a bit of column A and a bit of column B
Yeah.
here. Again, you've got to remember, companies are in business to make money. Now, we can argue until the cows come home as to how much is enough money, like what is how much what profit margin is ethical, you know, because how much is enough money is as much as you can get away with or as
Yeah.
much as you need.
Well, as much as you can get away with is the line when there's 1,000 competitors in your
Sure.
industry.
Yeah.
If you're building PCs, how many people will build PCs?
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah.
But if you're continually getting sales day after day after day, but you are charging the absolute limit of what you can,
Yeah.
it means that you're also offering something that people want.
Yeah.
And just because something can be available, it can be got cheaper, doesn't mean that people want the cheaper one.
Yeah.
Because you might have a really good telephone manner. So when that person phones up and says, "Hi, I'd like to order the PC," and you go, "Yeah, of course, that's not a problem. What would you like?" You're really friendly, you're reassuring. That person feels cared for and as an individual, and they're willing to pay for that.
Yeah.
Whereas the person who's selling it to him for 400 quid less goes, "What do you want?" "Okay, fine. Why are you calling me?"
Yeah. And it's just like
"Email me."
yeah, someone mentioned NZXT had reasonable prices. However, it's just like, yeah, I wouldn't fancy calling NZXT for tech support based on what I've heard, unless they cleaned up their act massively.
Yeah.
You might get a computer that's perfectly good, but I hope you're enough of an enthusiast that you can service it yourself. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like with expensive cars. A lot of the time with an expensive car, what you're paying for is that when you take it in for service, they say, "Certainly, sir, take a seat on our plush leather sofa and have a complimentary coffee from the machine. It's on us." And when you pick up when you pick up your car, they've washed it for you. That costs money. So there's all kinds of different value for money, and it depends on what you value. So yeah. Chris also said, what did he say that I was going to read out? LTT posted on Short Circuit a laptop that was basically $4,000 for a $2,000 because it has a custom carbon fiber chassis. And yeah, I saw that video. It was interesting, and that was definitely that was a very good example of paying for excess. That laptop was not good value for money, but if you go to a rich man's club and everyone pulls out their laptop, you can bet your life that no one else is going to have the same laptop that you do. But that costs you $4,000. What do you value?
Absolutely, and there is a huge degree of value in that.
Yeah.
In being in the right place with the right thing that someone who is in your social circle wants can be worth millions of pounds
to certain people. Yeah.
That can be a £1 million deal. Just
Yeah.
because someone saw that you had something that they didn't, and they want that thing that you don't have.
I have a friend. Who I met online, and he was part of a friend group that I used to go hiking with for ages. And the last time that was a really odd introduction. Anyway, the last time I met him, he was actually working for a very large search engine. I won't give too many details because of reasons, but he worked for a very big search engine. And as part of their advertising division, and his job was to go to. Has it not picked up drivers? Fine. His job was to go to prospective clients who would want to spend a large amount of money on advertising, and help discover what their needs were. And his job was, he would fly out and he would take them out to expensive restaurants to sit down with them and discuss what their needs were. So for him, showing up,
Business 101.
That's right. But he's the kind of person, and like he wasn't doing this when I met him, but the last time I encountered him was when he was doing this, and just like at that point I was like, fuck me, this guy knows how to dress. And he very quickly, when we were out, he very quickly identified nice restaurants, and he ordered fancy food from the menu and stuff like that. And like, this is not to say that this is a skill per se, but that was what he knew how to do. And that was a different world for me, because You know, like you could dress me up in a suit and I would look smart, but I don't know how to do that myself. You know,
Yeah.
let's be real. You know, and just like I looked at him in that moment and I was just like, this guy knows a world that I don't know. You know, I can't imagine that world. That's not things that I value. For me, the measure of worth and stuff like that, I don't care. You know, I want to go out and I want to eat some nice food. I don't care if it's fancy or not, or how people are dressed. That's not what I value. But for business, I can be like, I can see why this guy nets big deals for the company he works for. This guy lands big deals, and that is how he does it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, and it was an interesting picture into another world.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. Big Will recently got a £3,000 desktop from Origin PC. It was only about $600 over parts price, but it came with a 2-year warranty and some free small stuff. Yeah, that sounds about right. You know, again.
And also, I almost guarantee that first year of warranty will be fabulous.
Yeah, and like again, you know, sort of that $600, you know, that scales. When I'm building cheap office boxes, I'm expecting to make maybe £40 or £50 profit on them. But if someone is dropping £2,000 with me, I'm going to expect to be making 3-figure profit, you know, because it was an expensive computer, which I put a lot more work into because it was an expensive computer that took me a day to build. Whereas an office box, you throw that together in less than an hour, you know. So, yeah. Very well.
Shall we wrap it up?
Yes, I think we're done here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Any other comments or? Yeah. So the BIOS revision didn't seem to make any meaningful difference. So we've done some more experimenting.
Stuff is just funky on this board, though.
Yeah.
It does not seem to do what it's...
No real resolution. You've got a little bit further, but again, it seems to be fighting tooth and nail for stuff that should be effortless on this system. But still, we did some more experimenting. We looked at some more memory stuff. I'm learning a bit more by watching you tinker with this stuff. So good. Right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you guys next week with something else. And yeah, that was it. So the coffee machines, well, yeah, they worked anyway, but whatever. We took a coffee machine apart and discovered more about how that works.
Which was interesting.
Yeah, and hopefully some folks learned a thing or two about memory timings and such like. So yeah. Hope you see some cool weather, pals. Yeah, hope you see some cool weather, pals across the pond. Thank you very much, James. And thanks everyone else for tuning in. Thanks for the super chats today. See you guys next week. Bye, everyone. As soon as I've found the thing.
Au revoir. Goodbye. Click end. It will be over.